Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jimothy Stubblebubble, and we're back with another episode of Wayfarers. Last time, the team was beset upon all sides by skeletons. They nearly survived, and they met a new member of the team. A small something, golem, who knows. They've named him Goop, and he saved Mendax from the brink of destruction. But they're not done yet. They're not out of this dangerous cave that they found themselves in. Will the team survive? Find out right now on this episode of Wayfarers, Dungeons and Dragons.
Alrighty. We are back with another episode. Episode 6? Man, this is the 6th session. 7! Oh my god. 7! You guys aren't tired of me yet. That's actually pretty impressive. Yeah, episode 7 of Wayfarers, guys. Super excited to get this underway. But before we do, quick announcement shout out we want to make here. We are going to be using some very awesome atmospheric kind of background music going on to set the tone, set the mood, if you will, for this ancient spider cave and all of our other adventures. So we're testing it out. We're trying out some stuff with it. I hope you guys enjoy it. It comes from the lovely people over at Soundtail. I'll go ahead. We have a link for them here. Definitely tell your friends if you're interested in doing this sort of atmospheric environment for your D&D campaign. They are working on and have a PC version going, but it's primarily an app. They just started up their Kickstarter last week, and they're already funded. This app, I've been using it for a couple of days now, and it's actually super sick, as you guys are going to see. So just wanted to give them a quick shout out. Make sure you head over there, support them on their Kickstarter, guys. And, well, I mean, really, without further ado, shall we go ahead and get started?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Would you like me to engage this mysterious set of sounds now so we can get some feedback from the audience?
Yes.
So that it's not, to quote, fucked up the entire time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's check that out. Definitely let us know if the sounds are too high. Are they too soft? This is our first time really tooling around with it on stream. So give us some feedback if you guys are, if it's too loud, too soft, or somewhere in between.
It's on. Let us know what you think. Is it spooky? Is it too loud? Is it too soft?
Is it icky? Oh, it sounds kind of icky. Okie doke. So, while we have that haunted tune going on in the background, as I always do, where did we leave off? Do you guys remember where we left off?
I think Mendax was in a little spot of bother, and when I say spot of bother, kind of, lying unconscious in a puddle of blood. And thankfully,
there are worse liquids to be lying in.
That is true. Not the worst situation I'm sure that Mendax has found herself in. But luckily there was a incredibly shitty theme song that seemed to play out of nowhere. A bit of a dance was danced. Goop came forward and seemed to revive her for I think it was 8 hit points. So I think that was the absolute end there, right at the end of a fight. I'm trying to remember, what was it that knocked you on the ground? I think it just gave you a bite? Spider bite?
There were honestly, there was like 2 spiders, one of which was on like 3 hit points for about 4 turns, and neither of us could deal any fucking damage to it. While Carl was going 1v3 and massacring other spiders. This one spider took me out because I would like to note, made sure I positioned myself between it and you every time.
I appreciate you taking many hits for the team there. I also had my spells fizzle. I got to find out mid-combat that it seems like controlling this black orb of, I assume it's the owner token you have as Goop's owner, seems to have taken up one of my spell slots, which I got to find out as my ice knife fizzled and did absolutely nothing because I was trying to use essentially a used up spell slot to cast it. So I have only 1 spell slot left as well for the rest of this dungeon. Luckily, I do have a Pearl of Power, which I might be able to use later on. But yeah, we're kind of getting pretty deep in this dungeon, and hopefully Carl's steroids and natural crit rolls continue, because yeah.
He was
we might get in
rolling
trouble.
hot last session. I remember 20s were flying around. Carl was just cleaving spiders in twain. Yeah, so you guys, you made it to like the fungus room. There was like all these mushrooms and mosses and fungus, and these spiders, if you remember, were harvesting them and like planting them on other spiders, kind of. So really kind of strange. Not quite sure what they're doing with that yet. I don't believe you guys fought one of the mushroom-backed spiders or whatever.
Oh, they are mushroom-backed spiders. No,
Yeah,
we did not.
yeah.
We fought,
You fought
fingered-backed spiders.
Yeah, you fought those ones, but the ones that they were putting the mushrooms on it, they kind of ran
Well,
off.
but technically, we didn't really fight them. Nigel just shot a bolt randomly, a fireball randomly, and killed them all instantaneously.
That's true.
It was wonderful.
Yeah, that was actually super sick. And then you cut off their fingers, and now you have a bunch of spider fingers, which is really
I shall make earrings.
kind of, be honest with you, it's pretty creepy. But and then yes, as Mendax was knocked unconscious, Goop, sort of channeling the want to aid from Pig, from Nigel, reached kind of some sort of connection was made. And if you recall, he like opened up this like cavity and pulled out like a record basically and popped it in his head and played the very I think really well produced theme song and like really catchy theme song. Definitely not made up that on the spot theme song, that's for sure.
I'm not biased at all, but I thought it was fantastic.
Thank you. You can have more heals from Goop. That's fine. Yeah, so a little bit of the mysteries of the aptly named Goop. I just that name is so strange to me.
It's a good name. I mean, just in case anyone,
It's
I guess.
a perfect name for what else would you name a golem if not Goop?
It's a stone golem. It's
But
made
how
of
do
rock.
you make a golem? Isn't it melted clay or rock or something? Nigel, do you know about this?
Magic mainly.
Yes,
Nigel knows everything.
Yes, well, magic can be used in order to melt the rocks and create sort of a goopy paste, which one then forms into a servant or soldier.
Exactly.
Right.
So
You know
there
what?
you are, Goop.
Goop it is.
I won't have anyone
Listen,
besmirching the
I said-
name of Goop. Goop is my hero and my savior.
Okay.
Don't talk shit about Goop. That's the message.
We will fuck you up if you talk shit about Goop.
Oh well. Careful there. There's still more of this dungeon to go.
Oh,
The DM is gonna take that out on you now.
Okay. What I'm understanding is you want a bit of a challenge. All right, that's cool. I can do
I've got Goop
challenges.
at my back and no one can hurt me.
Okay. So you just dispatched the spiders. My headset ran out of charge at the very end, so I just did everything without being able to hear, and then we ended it, and it was awesome. So, yeah, let's just go ahead and start exactly where we left off, essentially. Mendax, you've just been stabilized and revived. You're not back at full health, but you are definitely doing a lot better than you were. You sort of blink away the black fuzzies in your eyes from being knocked unconscious, and you come to again for a moment, not remembering where you are, but then realizing you're in this horrible kind of spider cave once again, and you start remembering, oh yeah, that's right. This place sucks.
Oh my god. Goop. Goop, you saved me. I would like to hug Goop very tightly.
Yeah, he's
both arms.
Go for it. He's made of rock and is fairly cold. Some of the dew from the cave is now sort of forming
That's
on him.
right. Hard, cold. It's
That's
just like
my
many
Goop.
men Mendax has hugged before. That's fine. But this one saved her.
Yep. He did indeed. I'm just gonna call him he. Doesn't do anything. He just stands there. The action that he has been told to do, whether it was on purpose or subconsciously, he's done with whatever. But yeah, actually, Nigel, now you can see the cabinet, if you will, that's opened up like almost in the like chest cavity of this construct. You can see it's like a turntable almost. It's almost like think about like a spice rack almost. You could think of it that way, that you turn, and there are these slots that contain these records that he has. And almost all of them are, well, actually, rather, all of them are shattered. Some of them are just completely empty. But the one that's in his head is still, like, kind of turning, but it's not playing any more music, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So you figure, yeah, that's, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's looking a little bit like it's his last charge, potentially, for now. Just remind me, Goop had one arm?
He has one arm.
Broken off, right? So
yeah, yep.
And I don't think we recovered that or anything. All right, he's just our one-armed Goop for now.
He is.
Okay. All right. Well done, Goop.
He'll kind of like turn towards you and like wave his hand in the air.
Hey, he responds. Okay, this is this is nice. Okay. All right. I have absolutely no hands-on experience with golems, guys. I've read about them in books, but this is some sort of weird musical healing system, and I'm tempted to poke around and look around, but maybe we should wait until we're outside the spider lab before I do so.
That might be best. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm greatly I've benefited enormously from this, but maybe now is not the time for another healing rave.
I think we can safely say that this is not a dangerous golem to us. And if it is the least effective dangerous golem ever made.
Damn, that was supposed to be Fireball. How did I get healing out of his crap?
I'm fine with this golem joining us.
I was hoping we could do a quick bag check, party members, and
Sure.
Since I'm not sure he's going to be able to do that again until we find some way to recharge or mend this system he has, does anyone have any healing potions, and what are your hit points at? Because I think we are not necessarily running into any broodmothers yet, and I think things are going to get worse before they get better, and I'm a little worried about our ability to not die in this dark, spidery grave.
As am I. I have 0 health potions and 8 of 16 hit points.
I'm at 9 out of 12, but mine don't really matter since I shouldn't really be getting hit by anything, as I'll be hiding behind you two.
Behind us 3. Okay, there's Goop.
The thick-ass burb is currently sitting at 21 out of 32 hit points.
Damn.
And have you got any elixirs or concoctions left over?
I do have a crowbar, and I have a fire-breathing potion, and I also have a huge halberd that is sharpened for +1 damage. Healing potions. I have 3! Remember, we visited the nice druid who you were trying to hook me up with.
We were, and then she touched my shoulder as we left, so...
Then you saw Dick the Butcher.
Yes, we did see Dick the Butcher. It's very fine. Very fine Dick, that butcher. Very fine meat there. Pounded twice a day, if I remember correctly.
I can't wait until we stop back in at the meat shop on the way back into
that is
town.
The very first place we should be visiting upon our return.
I did this to myself this time.
Yeah, you brought that up.
Yeah, I did. I take full responsibility.
So I did. I think I used 1 health potion earlier on after that spider jumped on me and bit my arm. So I think you might have 2 charges left in it, Carl.
2 charges.
If I recall correctly, you had a health potion already, Carl, and then the druid gave you 3, and so that would be 4. Nigel did take 1 of them, if I'm remembering right, and then so now I think you have 3 left total. So 3 potion of healings.
Do you think we should give 1 to Mendax?
Probably a good idea.
One.
I would like to hand a health potion over to Mendax.
Absolutely.
I would like to accept said health potion. Carl, thank you so much. I truly, truly appreciate this. I know how much you love potions. And I will one day repay this kindness from you. And then
It's
I'm
an
going to
honor
drink
to have
her
you with
potion
us.
down.
I prefer
Okay.
you alive than dead, personally.
Oh, that's
I
so
do have
sweet.
a question about your passion and level of emotional energy, Carl. Do you feel like you could work up another rage today while we're in this lair?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
You've only
Okay, good.
begun to see the amazing feats capable of Carl. The battle trance
Fantastic.
of yesterday was nothing. What lies ahead will amaze you even more.
Shit, I'm excited.
I stand ready to behold.
Yes, I do
yesterday
have
was
one rage available.
most of this has been pretty incredible. So far, it's been a bird-filled music video of you chopping skeletons and spiders in half. So hopefully that continues. I am going to try and add some utility in our next encounter. So I'm going to pull my Pearl of Power out of my
Okay.
pocket and channel its power and recharge one of my spell slots.
Yeah,
I'm going to
absolutely.
drink the health potion.
Yes, so Nigel, you can regain one of your spell slots. You should have 2 capable now.
Yes.
And Mendax, go ahead and roll 4d4 plus 4.
4d4 plus 4.
Mhm.
2,
Then you can heal that many hit points.
6.
You are, I think, at max now.
Yeah, I'm just going to stop because I'm at 16.
Yeah, you can't unfortunately overheal with healing potions.
And
There
I
are
just-
things that let you have temporary.
I just edited my inventory to
Ooh.
record now that we have 2 health potions remaining.
Excellent. Yes. Sounds good. I think you guys are all set. Anything else you want to do before you move forward? Any spells you want to cast, Nigel? Any sort of preparations you guys want to make?
Is everyone's shoes and pants all right? Because I do have some extra shoes and pants.
It's a very important
Wow.
question.
Alleluia's shoes are doing me quite well, thank you.
Okay, then I think we're fine.
I have bird feet, so it's not really for me.
All right.
I would like to put the silver ring that I found in the large mound on one of my other fingers. Not the same one I have the purple ring on already. But,
Yeah.
you know. if
That's
you've got
fine.
to flaunt it.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you note down that you got that ring in your inventory, by the way?
I did. Absolutely.
Okay, yeah, I see it there. Perfect. Yeah, you can have that silver ring on, no problem at all. Any other things before you guys head out?
I think we're stocked, healed, ready to venture
Okay.
deeper into this labyrinth.
Sounds good. Yeah, so I assume the order is, I believe you guys always seem to do Call, and then Nigel, and then Mendax. Is that right?
In general, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like to be the slice of salami.
Put the
Okay,
big
perfect.
bird in the front.
So as you
And the
guys...
beach in the back.
Oh my god. What? Jeez Louise. Alright. As you guys continue forward, yeah, so Goop the Golem will close up the door, if you will, so that the other sort of shattered records or whatever you want to call them don't like spill onto the floor or something. So, and he can basically keep up with you, Pig. He, like I said, if you guys start running, he probably won't be able to keep up. He's a little bit slower than you, and you think that's about as fast as he can go. But at a regular sort of walking pace, no problem. Yeah, you guys continue on, and this sort of fungus mildew moss kind of area keeps. Oh, it's almost like you're like walking into another land. It looks much less like the cave you guys were in before, and very quickly it starts turning into almost like not an oasis, but there's life. There is a lot more going on as far as like critters scurrying around, like, you know, lizards, small bugs, things like that. You can tell that the fungus and the sort of, it's not really like floral things there, but there's a lot more plants. There's a lot more fungus and moss, that sort of stuff that you'd see in a cave. But it's strange that it is here. This does not strike you like all the previous, beginning of this sort of cave was super dry and just covered with silk and bone, with no sign of mushrooms at all. The outside was hot. You know, it was like a desert, almost not a wasteland, but getting there. So that does strike you guys as odd. But yeah, you move forward. You advance through that corridor that we'll call them the mushroom spiders, that the mushroom spiders kind of scurried away into. And roll a, go ahead and give me a perception. Actually, give me a perception from each of you as you guys walk in. I want to see who notices this first. So perception check, D20, add your perception modifier.
11.
Okay.
10.
Okay.
12.
12. Okay, so great rolls. Good job, guys. Well, luckily this one, it's not that it didn't matter, but I just wanted to see who would notice it first. Pig, Nigel, as you walk in, you sort of, the cave it has its own noises, right? That it's making the sort of, the wind that's kind of going through at odd points, the water that's flowing in, and you hear the occasional scurrying, which you can only assume is spiders somewhere. You know, whether they're above you, whether they're behind you, it's hard to tell. But now you hear a noise you haven't heard in the entire time you've been in the cave. You hear almost like a very soft and very faint, and it's coming from the left corner of this room. And apparently a plane flies by.
Some sort of mechanical groan. And it's off to the left. All right, I hear.
Yeah, off to the left. So there's a very narrow passageway that extends out to the right. And it almost has to be like, you guys almost have to like shimmy between how close these rocks are together. But to the left, it's smaller than the room you guys were previously in, maybe about 8 feet across. It's almost like a hallway that goes down, but you can see the end down there, as there are some like almost bioluminescent fungus that is around you now. There is a little bit of a natural light to this cave.
Carl, could be a groan or something. There's some sort of sound coming from that room off to the left.
Oh, I farted.
Oh,
Or did you mean a different sound?
wait. I know you have the ability to project your voice, but I didn't realize you could do it with bodily functions as well.
What was that?
Was that?
Oh,
That was
no,
an
Carl, was
index.
that you? No, it was not. Girls don't do that.
Oh. No, I didn't hear that.
That's
What was
just
that?
science.
You heard something that wasn't me?
Some sort of groan.
Maybe there's
Down to
someone
the left.
here. Should we ask if anyone's home?
Indeed. Maybe with our eyes before our voices.
Let's ask with our eyes.
Ooh.
And your halberd. Use your halberd to ask if anything moves.
I would like to sneak forward, halberd in hand, ready to
Okay.
discuss things with whoever made that sound.
Okay, are you actually sneaking, or are you just kind of being stealthy? Or like, Peter's, I don't know. You're not charging in. Are you trying to make a sneak check? That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yes.
Okay, go ahead, roll me a d20 and give me your sneak bonus. Nigel and Mendax, are you guys continuing forward as well? It's about 15 feet to the back of the room.
Yeah, I am not following behind.
Absolutely,
Okay.
I'm going to follow my
Sneaking
My
as
friends.
well, or just walking normal?
Sneaking as well. I'm always
Oh.
sneaking. I haven't stopped sneaking since I walked in this place. The first
Are
time I
you-
didn't, a spider dropped on me.
That's true.
18.
18.
14.
Call it 14, okay?
3.
That's not possible. You have a higher... I know your modifier for sneak is higher.
I did. Wait, are we joined for stealth?
Yeah, stealth. Sneak
Oh,
stealth.
for stealth.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, then 8.
Okay. I'm like, there's no way you can get a 3. Even if you roll a 1, you'll have higher than a 3. I know this. Okay. So somehow the rogue, the unsneakiest of them all, is split splashing in the pools of water that are beneath your guys' feet,
I do what I want.
kicking over some mushrooms, which don't necessarily make a ton of noise, but you can hear them sort of ripping out of the ground. Meanwhile, Call, Nigel, very, very stealthy. You guys are making little to no noise at all.
I just regained consciousness. Give me a break.
Well, listen, I just have to say, I don't make the rolls. Okay, you guys roll it. I just tell you what happens. Ooh, that's a good quote. I don't make the rolls. Oh fuck! Nobody take that from me. I'm putting that on a shirt.
Oh, put it on a shirt. Put it on a shirt.
Anyways, you advance down to the end of the, we'll say, tunnel. And as you approach, you see a pile of dead spiders, almost blocking the end of the tunnel. There's not a ton. There's like a solid 4 or 5 of these giant spiders. They're huge, compared to a normal spider, anyways. That are just kind of turned over. Some of them have been hacked to pieces. Some of them are missing legs. Some of them are just totally clobbered to death. And you notice a little bit of movement behind that, behind the pile, if you will. You don't hear anything else right now.
My lord, it looks like something's been trying to defend this corridor. Is anybody in there?
Okay, I'm drawing my bow. Just in case. I'm drawing my bow.
Hello? Who is that? I'll gut you bastards!
Since we are speaking the common tongue, hopefully you will believe us when we say we are not spiders, whoever you are. My name is Nigel the Wizard, and we are here hunting the broodmother that is infesting this den.
You won't hear any response other than just like a...
Oh, God, bloody hell.
Is he underneath the spiders?
He's like behind them.
They're kind of piling up the entranceway.
It's like a 4 or 5 foot kind of pile.
Okay.
Do you need help?
Okay. You guys can go around the pile. There is enough room if you want. Okay. You don't have to keep shouting at him. If you want to go see him, you don't have to.
Listen, you little shit! We're offering you our help. Do you want it or not? I'm going to continue to yell at him.
Okay. Gotta make a roll for this. He'll respond. He'll say,
I'm past help, Missy. Oh, God.
Right,
oh, fucking hurts.
I'm going to... is there... how much is the space that we can get through? Do we think Goop could squeeze through behind us?
Yeah, Goop is thinner than you guys. He's smaller.
Excuse you? Honestly.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a tiny little rock. He's small.
After all that rockfish, your waistline has expanded, Mendax.
Oh, snap.
Okay. What? No, I vomited up most of it. But sometimes the ale does stay with you.
I have a super speed metabolism. It doesn't matter what I eat.
I'm going to
must be nice.
Just kind of work my way and squeeze past this pile of spider corpses and squeeze in and get a look at this dude. Yeah.
So, and you can you work your way around and you kind of, shove some of these spiders off of the pile. It's no big thing to kind of just push them aside. You're able to clear enough space for you to step through. And you see that it's not like a huge alcove there, but there's enough standing room for probably at least 2 people. There is enough bioluminescence here. I'm not sure if you have your torch or your lantern lit right now. But if you do, it's even easier to see. On the ground, sort of propped up against the wall of the cave, is a dwarf. There's a dwarf that's laying there, and he's in bad shape. You can see that he's sustained several bites from these spiders, which you recognize from being bitten yourself and seeing Mendax get hit a couple of times. So you can tell that's what it is. There are kind of scrapes and cuts all over him. But what really stands out to you, and actually I think I'm going to require Constitution for this, Nigel, is his face. His face is horrifying. On the side, the left side of his head, there are these almost egg sacs that are like growing on the left side, and these mushrooms that are kind of growing out of the side of his head as well. And you can see it's almost like his skin is infected, and it's sort of turning to this like yellow, green, gray as it sort of bleeds into a normal skin here. But his eye is almost like a yellow pea soup color. He's fucked up.
Oh my god. I 19.
Okay,
Constitution.
you choke back the vomit as this is like horrifying. But you're able to sustain, and he doesn't. I mean, he doesn't even notice. But you don't even make a noise. You are surprisingly, from all the horrors you've seen today. Let's just add this one to the list.
You look like you've definitely seen better days, friend. Are you by any chance Thomas, Redard, or she? A member of Carl's party that came here a few days before?
And he'll kind of like turn his head, so now you even have a better view of the side that's really fucked up. I don't know if you went to the right or the left. We'll just say you went to the side that didn't see it, so he'll turn to you. You can see even more of kind of what's going on that half of his head. It's bad, and you can see it starts to kind of extend down his neck and almost to his shoulder. But he's clutching like a halberd, similar to what Call has as well, in his hands here. He'll look at you and he opens his eyes. He coughs a couple of times, some blood and some other color fluid that shouldn't be coming out of a cough. It kind of sprays onto the floor a little bit. And he'll go,
I was part of the party. Oh, Lord.
You have 5 minutes to talk to him in real time before he dies.
Do you know what happened to your party members?
Horrible things. I barely managed to escape the horrors.
Did anyone else make it out?
He'll just kind of look at the ground and shake his head.
Have you seen the broodmother?
Are you guys still standing behind the pile?
No, we followed. I followed at least.
Okay. He'll like close his eyes and hold the side of his head as just almost it's throbbing. He knows what's going on, but he can't really do anything about it.
I have seen the spider.
And he'll spit on the ground and almost kind of give a kick towards the spider he's killed in front of him.
Held him off as long as I could, but I think I'm done for.
Do you have any advice for us if we were to avenge you and take on this broodmother?
He'll look up at you, Call, and see kind of you have a very similar weapon to him, and he'll kind of push his halberd forward very weakly. You can tell this guy is super frail. He'll go,
I stab him with the pointy end.
That I can do. Is his halberd different or special in some kind? Was he gesturing to give it to me?
He was gesturing kind of like
a oorah.
Hoorah, indeed.
No. I think seeing that I would understand.
Yes, you do. You kind of get... his halberd looks worse than yours, but by no means is it bad.
How did they do this to your face? This is not normal. What happened to you? It wasn't just battling spiders. What else do we need to be on the lookout for so that we don't end up with egg face?
He'll almost laugh at how crude your direct humor is. You can tell in his regular life he is probably a very direct person himself.
I like
Well,
this dwarf.
I don't recommend you get caught, or they'll take you to the wall.
To the wall of the cave, or what wall are you talking about?
Some wall. I don't know where it is. I barely crawled my way here. But it's horrible. Bodies pasted to this wall, and they.
He sort of groans and shudders at the memory, and you can only imagine what they did to this person to get him to this state. But apparently, it's like some kind of wall where they keep people alive so that they can have these eggs growing and have more spiders. Okay, you got a minute and a half.
Is there any message you would like us to deliver to your friends or family back home, Master Dwarf?
Okay. At this, he'll sort of get almost a little bit of light back in his eyes, as if kind of he had lost all of his sense of purpose and direction, and now he kind of remembers a little bit of the life that he had before all of this happened. He'll reach to a chain that's underneath his shirt, and he'll, with like a great effort, pull this necklace off. And he'll hold it up weakly, and you can see at the bottom of it there's a ring. It's sort of this very faint blue. It's a very pretty ring. There are these intricate gemstones that are laid within this in silver, almost veins that go throughout the whole ring. It's one of the nicest rings you've ever seen.
It says, "My son, please take this to my son. Colabril."
Wait, what's his name?
Colabril.
Corabil?
Corbril? Colin Brill?
Yeah. He lives in Tol Karabad.
We'll find him. I would like to take the ring. Is the chain still good? Can I put it around my neck?
No, he's fucking...
Okay, then I'll put the ring on an additional finger.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. He barely notices that you've taken it. He's kind of still has his hand kind of reached out. You can tell he doesn't probably have much feeling in his hand and arms anymore. But he'll say, he'll repeat that.
Karabad. Take it to Karabad.
Karabad. Master Dwarf, I am a bit of a shit normally, but I will do this for you.
Aye, that's good. You're a good lady.
5 minutes is up. He'll look up at Call, and he'll kind of look at each of you real quick, kind of in the eyes, and almost as if he's kind of judging you, like looking and trying to weigh what kind of character you are. And his eyes stop on Call, kind of deadlocked here. And he'll say, "Don't let me die like this." And he'll like put his head back, and he'll hold his halberd, kind of in his hands, and close his eyes.
I think he's
he's still
asking
breathing.
for a health potion.
I don't think that's what he's asking for, Carl.
No, he's asking for you to kill him. He doesn't want to die.
Carl,
from
he's
this
asking
fire.
for a swifter death than the one that he has been assigned.
I'll leave it up to you.
It would be a thing of mercy.
It would absolutely be a mercy.
I will say I
you don't want to do it-
prefer to kill stuff that's a threat to me. And I'm not a fan, but I understand the situation. He's very fucked up. And he would die slowly if we were to leave him in this state.
The death is inevitable at this point, Carl. It's just whether it's quick and painless or long and painful. And he wants it to be you, your halberd bros.
Master Dwarf, are there any gods you would like me to send you off to?
He doesn't say anything.
Very well, I will choose them from a hat. Okay.
Fair enough. You don't have to roll. I mean, if you do decide to do it, that's a coup de grace. You're just if there's a particular way that you want to do it, you can explain what that is.
No, I was trying to decide on which god. I was thinking about maybe an autumn god of harvest or something.
I mean, there are dwarven gods. You know?
Okay. Pick a random dwarven god. Oh, dwarven gods. This poor soul is trapped in a terrible place. I would like to send him to your halls now, that he may feast on fine meats and the best ales by roaring fires. World rest him. I would like to finish the job.
Okay, yeah, you do so quick, painlessly. He doesn't even move, doesn't make a sound. And just like that, he's gone.
We shouldn't leave these eggs to continue to grow. I think perhaps we should burn the body.
Agreed.
Yep, you can do that. A firebolt will do that easily.
Yes, firebolt to the eggs.
Okay. As you know, unviolently as possible, you sort of just kind of catch fire almost to the side, and just fizz and pop. They are all singed.
Poor dwarf. Lovely ring, though.
I feel sad. I want to fight now.
I am ready to fuck some spiders up. That was a very nice dwarf.
Yeah. Spiders are nasty creatures.
Oh yeah, we didn't even actually look. He might have had some gold or something on him. He would want us to have it.
That's up to you.
Can I search the ashes?
He's not ashes. I
just burnt the eggs off the face.
Oh, just the eggs. Okay, then I'd like to just go ahead and search his pockets and things. How are his shoes?
Honor for the dead. We immediately go into his pockets.
He would want us to have it.
We could have asked first if that's what you wanted from him.
That would have wasted part of the 5 minutes.
You didn't know it was 5 minutes. It was an estimate.
Well, I could tell he was, you know, very not long for this world.
How long have I got, Doctor? You've got 5 minutes. Make it quick.
Exactly 5.
Okay, give us your coins.
We can still check. I'm going to check his pockets no matter what. You know what? Whatever I find in the pockets, unless it's exceptional, I'll just give to his son. I'm going to make that. I'll tell this to you now. Along with the ring, if we find any gold in his pockets, if we find his son, I would give it to them. Give it to him.
I think that would honor him.
I'm not one to hold judgment. I'm the man wearing another man's shoes that you took off him when he wasn't even dead.
He deserved that. He was a shit.
Oh.
I do miss him, though.
You and everybody else.
Underground creatures that shoot spikes from the floor. What a fool he was.
Such a fucking shit. And then a fucking note. A note designed to paralyze people. What? Bless you. 7 blessings upon you, my kangaroo friend.
I think there's fungal spores in the air. Be careful.
Yeah, you kind of loop the body, if you will. You actually don't really see anything. He didn't come here really carrying much. They came to just investigate and leave. So there's not really any gold or anything.
Look at what's the quality of the shoes?
His clothes, including his shoes, are pretty destroyed.
Okay, fuck it then. We'll just leave those shoes. I'd like to close his eyes, though. I'm going to close his eyes.
Okay.
Unless, well, one of them. I'm assuming that one of them probably has the lid burnt off because it was all eggified.
Yeah.
So wherever there is a lid, I would like to close it, out of respect.
Absolutely. You do so. The kind of one eye. It's almost like half of his face is kind of just this burnt, almost like you can see some skull, by how hot the flame got, and then the other eye you just.
Okay, then. Bloop. It's good. Just Close that.
Done.
All right.
We ready to proceed?
I think so.
More fired up
absolutely.
now.
Great. Ash, you can put the like signet of Colabril in your equipment, in your inventory.
Signet of Colabril.
Colabril, son of...
Oh, fuck. Yeah. Over here, besides the dwarf body and the bodies of the dead spiders, yeah, just more moss, more fungus, more mushrooms, sort of these like luminescent strands that kind of hang down. They're little creepy crawlies that are crawling on the ground, but besides that, there doesn't seem to be any more threats over here. Doesn't seem to be any passage this way.
It doesn't continue as a corridor, it's just a dead end, right?
Nope, just the dead end. He was kind of propped up against the dead end of this hallway.
Carl, lead us back. There was a corridor down to the right if we follow backwards.
Very good.
Let's kill some motherfucking spiders.
That's
All fired up.
It's the
How
first
you
time I've
know
had to
what
set
I'm good
fire
at?
to a corpse. I'm mad.
Yeah, so you guys head to the other end of the corridor, and like I said, there's barely enough room for you guys to kind of squeeze through. You almost have to like side shift through this hallway. It's not big enough for you to just walk normally. You have to sort of purpose maybe your backpack, hold it off to one side, hold like your halberd out in front of you, and kind of almost shimmy down the hallway. But you do think there's enough room, at least from what you can see, to make it to the other side.
Then let's do it. We make it to the other
Let's
side.
go.
Okay.
Carl in the front.
All right. Call in the front, Pig in the middle, and Mendax in the back.
Party at the back. Business in the front. Party at the back. It's our mullet stance. Let's go.
Absolutely. So yeah, you guys are able to, with pretty great effort, I would say, manage to make it through this sort of very narrow passageway. It takes you probably a solid 10 minutes to go what you think is about 20 feet, as you have to reposition constantly through this very, very, very narrow passageway. But you make it through to the other side unhindered. And as you do make it through, you feel a breeze. You feel you're like a wind, basically, kind of blowing your hair back. It's not so strong as to push you up against the wall necessarily, but it's probably about that strength, where it is enough to move your hair and any loose strands of cloth, things like that. And that takes you by a great surprise. It is impeccably dark in this area. Nigel, do you still have your torch going, or your lantern?
I do. My fan
Okay.
apparently does not turn up that high to simulate that, but
Oh, okay. Good try, though. Good try.
I'm a Beyonce fan. Just ready at any moment.
just a regular fan. I was hoping.
All the viewers just wave your hand at Pig. Wave your hand. It'll fan his hair like Jennifer Lopez.
Perfect. And you're standing in, it's not a perfectly circled room, but you don't see any more exits. You believe you've reached the end. The room that you're standing in is probably only about 15 feet in diameter total. So it's not a massive room. But the walls are covered with this silk, with more of this spider thread. But now it's almost a mixture and is off-colored with the fungus and the moss that's growing beneath it. It's almost like a different kind of silk. You can't really tell how, but you're like, this is very different than the type of silk we were seeing much earlier on in the cave. What really stands out to you, though, is there's only about maybe 2 to 3 feet of standing room in this entire, like in a ring around this room up against the wall, and there's just a giant pit in the middle that just goes down, and there's all this spider web it just kind of clings to the edges of the walls as this giant pit just goes down into the ground. You cannot see, even the dark vision users, where this leads to.
Are you ready to go into a very spooky place?
I was born ready.
I thought you were going to say that you were born in a spooky place.
I mean, I don't actually know where I was born. I'm not sure who my family or my parentage is, so I could have been.
You probably were.
I mean, I feel like that's a fair guesstimate.
Yes.
But I don't want to say with any kind of certainty, so all I can say is, hell yes, I'm ready.
Okay.
Right.
And the pit is a sudden,
It's very sheer. This doesn't look natural, if that's what you're asking. It's not like, oh, this is just like a further cave. No, it's very sheer. It's almost too clean to be in a cave like this. It doesn't make much sense to you.
I've never seen anything like this before. Do you think we can climb down the silk? I want to touch the silk and see, can I get a good hold in it?
Yes, you can get a great hold on this silk. It
doesn't stick to you or anything. We don't get stuck into it.
It's much stickier than the silk that is in the previous area. This stuff, it's not so much that you can't get loose from it again, but it is like, for a second you panic. You're like, oh shit, did I just really fuck up? Nope, you can get off of it, but it's very, very, very sticky.
And there's no other way out of this chamber except the way we came in, right?
Yeah, I mean, you look up, you cannot see the roof of the room. Even when you shine your light up there, it kind of just peers off into the darkness, really. But unless you're going to start climbing up, you figure the only way to go is down.
Carl Mendax, shall we climb into the depths and perhaps not give away that we're coming? Or shall I perhaps once again shoot exploratory firebolts into the darkness and see what happens?
Oh, that's a very good question. I mean, when in doubt, light it up. I thought we decided last time, but...
If you do set fire to it, and it burns the silk, then we may not be able to climb down or back out
That's
again.
very true. Yes, all the rest of the silk is very, very flammable.
It is more moist down here, though, and humid, and this seems to be some sort of different quality silk, so I'm not sure if it'll burn nearly as well. Shall I risk it?
My instincts, speaking as a bird, say that would be thoroughly stupid. But speaking as a barbarian, I really don't give a shit. I just want to fight something.
Let's climb down, then. I think I'll save the fire.
I would say let's climb down. It's very hard to heat up things that are so moist, so I think we just climb down.
How would you guys like to try that? What's the method here? What's the plan?
How heavy is Goop? Could he be a backpack for me?
Goop is probably a solid 60 pounds. So yes.
Not too bad.
You could, but he is hefty. He's a chunky boy.
We could always just leave him up here and get him on our way out.
Who the hell is that thick-ass golem?
Goop the golem is the golem that you speak of.
Goop. It's Goop.
Goop the golem is that thick-ass golem.
I could carry Goop as a sort of backpack down this passageway. It would be rather hefty, so I wouldn't be able to maneuver quickly, but I'm rather strong.
I would very much like to have Goop with us. But I am also very biased. Goop is a good boy. He's a good boy.
Right. Goop, come here. Yes,
Yeah, he
let's
does.
use some ropes and try to fashion him as a backpack onto Carl's back.
I do have ropes, and I've rigged many things in theater, so I do feel like I could tie Goop onto his back very well, very tightly, without infringing on too much on his movement.
Sure. So Nigel does have Carl does have like a backpack of sorts. He has, you do have sort of various tools and other things that you do have with you, and so you're able to with the rope that you have. I think each of you guys have like the traditional 50 feet of hempen rope. 50 feet is like way more than you need to accomplish this task. But with that rope, you're able to fasten Goop, and almost like a little satchel carrier, to the back of
It's like
Carl.
a little Golem Bjorn, but for the back.
Yeah, exactly. But you feel he's pretty snug and secure on the back of Carl. And you don't feel like he's going anywhere. Carl, you feel the difference in weight. You're now carrying probably close to your body weight on your back at this point because of the addition of Goop. Your halberd is extremely fucking heavy, and you have a lot of stuff.
Thick-ass bird Carl is carrying a lot of shit down the silk.
It'll be a little bit of a struggle, but you think you can make it.
I'm gonna need a back massage when we get back to town. This hurts me.
Nigel will be happy to do that for you, Carl. Or maybe the very nice lady who gave us the potions.
It's not a bad idea. I do need to focus here. This is very heavy.
Okay, are you climbing down the silk call? Is that the plan? You guys are gonna climb down the silk.
Very gingerly, yes.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Are you guys all just going down at the same time, or are you going to kind of stagger the descent?
Same time, different sides of the thing is what I was planning
Agreed.
to do.
Okay, sounds good. So let's get an initial, let's say, what would be best for this? That's not really acrobatics. Let's go with athletics. Kind of testing your guys' ability to climb down efficiently, especially with a surface that's fairly difficult to climb down, but almost in your favor of not falling off.
Right,
11.
14.
Ooh, gonna be a 10.
Okay. Yes, it is a struggle going down for you guys. You're not afraid of falling. In fact, you're afraid of the opposite. You're afraid of not being able to move. You very quickly realize you almost want less points of contact rather than more. You're almost going against the rules of climbing. Because each time you touch the wall, you don't even really need something to grab onto. You kind of just stick your hand on there, and it's enough to let you descend further down into the darkness, which the darkness, I guess, really envelops you guys very quickly. The light that was shining in the passageway upstairs is basically all but dissipated. Pig, Nigel rather, you kind of have the lantern attached to like your side, your back. You have like a little like a strap that you can tie it onto when you're doing things like this. And so it is lighted, but it's just, you look up and it's just sheer darkness. You look down, sheer darkness, and for a moment you get very paranoid. You almost feel like you're in a different land, almost like a void, essentially. If you look behind you, you can see your companions, but it's impressive how obscured they are and how dark it is. Even though you have your lantern on the back, Nigel, it's very difficult to see them, and that throws you off. It continues as you guys go down on, descending down this silk. Go ahead, give me another athletics check.
14.
14 again.
All right, let's see.
14.
Oh, all right.
Oh, we are so
Synergy.
in sync. Call us Joey, Justin, and Lance. Honestly, so in sync.
Synergy bonus. I like it. Very well done, everyone. Very good style. It is very cold. In fact, you're starting to almost shiver a little bit with how cold it's getting very, very quickly. You can tell you are now very deep underground. And you are very far away from any sort of warmth from the sun. Being that you're now far into the mountain and now far underground, you can surmise you've already gone about 25 feet, 30 feet down this wall, and you still look down and it is still just pitch black beneath you. You start to get concerned. Fatigue hasn't set in yet. You don't feel like you're gonna give out, because it is very taxing to climb down these sort of maneuvers here. Let's go ahead and get another athletics check. This time we're gonna give Call disadvantage. You are carrying a heavy load, my friend.
So that is the lower of 2 rolls.
Yes.
Okay, so 11 is the first.
Okay.
Oh no.
What do we got?
It's the lowest possible number.
Oh. Okay. All right. Well, it could be, I would say, worse, because there's technically no critical failure for skill checks. So it's not like attack rolls where a 1 is an auto miss and fail.
So that means I got a 4?
And it does mean you got a 4. You got a 4. It's still a very bad roll, but it's not like perilous to like when you roll a 1 in combat.
And we were rolling as well, yeah?
Yeah, everyone rolled.
2,
Okay.
including my +1.
Oh
Nigel
my
is-
god!
Nigel is very tired.
I see. Okay.
I've got a 19. I'm good to go.
Okay. You So we'll just go kind of in order of highest to lowest. Mendax, you're starting to get it. You're starting to understand how you're supposed to climb down this wall. You sort of get that. You almost with your finesse and dexterity, you basically just use like your fingers, and you kind of use that, and that really lessens the amount of contact. And you use your skills from your cat burglaring and your domestic foraging to stay very light on your feet as you start to catch on how you're supposed to descend this silken wall. Call, you do not. You are having a hard time. Mendax, will you continue further down than your companions? That is my question. Would you keep going if you notice they're having a hard time?
No. If I see they're having trouble, I see Carl having trouble, I'm going to stop to help him.
Okay, so you're actually going to try to move over there.
I'm going to try to move closer to Carl.
Okay, you have a choice. You see Carl and Nigel having trouble.
I think I'm going to move to Carl first. Carl has the heavier load.
Okay.
Nothing against... Sorry, Nigel. Nothing against you. I believe in your muscles, but Goop is bay.
Believe in your muscles.
Saved me.
Okay.
Okay. I believe in your 9-inch wand. It will get you through most sticky situations. I do need to go over to just really check on Goop. And
Make sure
Carl.
Goop and Carl are good. I'll figure it out.
Okay. Carl, you are stuck to the wall. You have kind of gotten yourself in a bind as your back is aching, my friend. It is hurting, in fact. It's probably been 20 minutes of just straight climbing, and you are really, really starting to feel the fatigue is beginning. You know that you can keep going. You've pushed through worse before, but you're getting a little bit worried. And it's not quite panic, but urgency sets in, and you fumble a bit. This is a very, very difficult surface to climb, and you get stuck. Your elbow is sort of stuck on one end. Your hand, you're kind of contorted in a very strange position as every attempt to free yourself, you kind of get yourself more and more entangled, which is almost the way how spiders really work. As the creature struggles more and more in the web, they just get themselves more and more trapped. So you're very, very stuck, and just as you're about to say, call out for help, because you realize how bad of a situation you're in. Mendax comes over there to lend her assistance. Mendax, go ahead and roll an athletics check as well, real quick.
13.
13. Okay, you are able to keep your balance and keep yourself like secured to this silk wall without getting into a worse position like Call is, while slowly kind of untangling Call. Call, I mean, it's not unbelievably painful, but I mean, feathers are sort of kind of ripping out of your arm, and you know where you're stuck. It's not like you got waxed necessarily, but you know there's now feathers on the wall, let's say.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Carl. I'm so sorry.
Ow!
Pig, roll a dexterity save.
Ow!
Well, I haven't been known to be the most dexterous. Most of my exercises in the dexterity department involve picking up and reading books and swishing and flicking my wand. So that's a 1 + 2. It's a 3.
Okay. Wow, that's incredible. You start to think that you're getting it as well. You sort of are really trying to analyze the situation. You're trying to put your mind to the test. How would you overcome this problem if it was a word problem, right? You're sort of trying to apply those same things. Well, I would try to lessen my points of contact. However, which is what Ash was doing. So Mendax, you're on the same page. You are getting to the same situation. You, however, lack the finesse. You, however, lack the dexterity to pull off those types of moves. So as you do that, you realize you don't have enough contact, and where you thought you were secure on the wall, your hand slips, and you fall back. Your foot, the bottom of your foot, kicks out instinctively and catches you onto the wall as you are now leaning back into the void, with only being stuck by like your foot and and your other leg is kind of swinging wildly.
Oh my.
Oh my God, Nigel!
Nigel!
Apologies. I seem to have done something. And I'm back.
There you go.
No, he was holding very still so he would not fall.
Oh, that's a good call.
Excellent decision there, Nigel.
Give me another dex save there, Nigel. Let's see if you're able to worsen your situation or make it better.
19, 17.
19. Okay.
A little better.
You sort of kick your other foot into the wall, and now you're almost like Spider-Man glued with your feet to the wall. Your next main concern is how tightly your shoes are tied to you. And being that they're not your shoes and they're not
They're very high quality shoes!
Fit you exactly, you do feel like you're starting to slip out of them a little bit. Give me another dex save.
No!
Oh my God, if there's any time
Nigel,
we're going to say hallelujah.
Shoes.
Sing hallelujah for me, guys.
Shoes.
11 plus 2.
Okay.
Dexterity again, right?
Dexterity, yes, sir.
13.
Okay, 13.
That was good. Good job, Mendax.
That's excellent shoes! Those are name brand shoes!
You very quickly realize what's happening, and whatever reflexes you have kick in as you almost just very fast kick your feet out of each of the shoes and press your feet to the wall. So now it's just your skin that's on the wall, so you're not gonna fall, but the shoes are stuck.
Oh,
to
that is a bitch!
So you, from this point, are able to slowly and very carefully get your way back so that you are more connected to the wall again. No more dex saves are required. You have made it far enough. Yeah.
So I can slowly kind of rotate myself, and I do manage to get back to...
Yeah, you sort of really try to plant your feet into the wall, and you like lean back up and are able to contact back with the wall as the sweat pouring down your face and now drenching into your shirt. is freezing as well, by the way, and the adrenaline is just absolutely, it's almost nauseating a little bit how much adrenaline you have right now. You have to take a second and calm down before you can move forward.
Nigel! Oh my god, that was so close. Where are the shoes?
They're there on the wall.
A few meters above me. Perhaps you can grab them on the way down if you work your way around the wall, Mendax, but I am bloody exhausted. I'm dripping in freezing sweat, and I am not going any longer on this goddamn silk wall than I need to.
It's fine. No, it's fine. You're more important than those shoes, Nigel. And I wouldn't say that to many people, just so you know. I'd say it to exactly 3 people. Well, 2 people and 1 golem.
2 people and 1 golem. Nigel, you're able to sort of, I guess, more stick like your forearm to the wall, and you're able to rest, essentially. There are sort of climber positions that they can put themselves in where it doesn't tax their muscles. You don't necessarily know what those are, but you understand the theory. And you kind of stick yourself to the wall, catch your breath for a moment or 2 before you continue forward.
Whew.
Right. Nigel, you're stable for the moment. Are you okay?
I'll be right.
Okay.
I'll be right. Just I figured out the trick is you're actually not meant to touch the wall too much. So I forgot to touch the wall at all, and I may have fallen, but that won't happen again.
Okay, perfect. Carl, are you untangled enough to keep going? Carl, are you okay with this load? I can tie some ropes to Goop as well and share this load with you. We're going to be connected so that if one of us falls, both of us falls, but I can help relieve some of this burden for you.
I would accept.
Or I could hold your halberd, but I don't actually know if that's heavier than Goop or not.
It's not as heavy. Not even close.
Yeah. It's about
6
yeah,
pounds.
it's about. Oh yeah, it's not.
It's a tenth of
No,
Goop.
I don't. It may not make as much of a difference as tying a rope to Goop then.
Okay.
Yeah, if you guys want to try to take a moment, and again, you can do the same sort of stick yourself to the wall, really get a good grasp of that, and then work with whatever rope you need to. I will require some dexterity saves, as you are essentially trying to jimmy this over nothing. So there is a non-zero chance that Goop could drop if you roll very poorly, and I just want to bring that up to you first.
Would you like to try this, Carl, or do you think you could make it down without any assistance?
I think I could make it down. If you wanted to hold my halberd, that may take the edge off a little bit.
Okay, you know what, I will do that. I would like to take his halberd and strap it to my back as we go down.
Sure. Yeah, you take essentially what is like a feather's worth of weight off of Call, but it's almost the mental knowing that you have less weight on you, Call, is more important.
Oh,
than the
this is
actual
so much better. Everything still hurts.
This is a fine halberd. It's quite sharp, Carl.
It is. The nice blacksmith who we saved, he sharpened it for us, if you remember.
What an excellent halberd this is.
Yes, if we could cut the chit-chat and just get down to the bottom, I would much love to put Goop down. This hurts.
All right, let's just go. Let's just go. All right, Nigel, are you good to continue?
Yes, I've rested a little, and I'd like to get the frick off this wall.
Okay.
good restraint. Go ahead, give me some athletics.
All of us?
Mm-hmm. You guys are all climbing.
I've got 11.
11.
Feeling invigorated, energized, and my hopes renewed from Mendax carrying my very heavy halberd, I rolled a 19 plus 3 is 22.
Very good.
Oof, 19 for me as well. I seem to have figured out the technique already.
Yeah, so, yeah, you guys rested up slightly. You're able to continue down further and further. And for the next 5 minutes or so, you're catching on. Everyone kind of having their own method, but everyone essentially understanding the less you touch the wall, the easier it is to actually climb down. You're able to make it the rest of the way, which you have now assumed to be at least 60 feet 70 feet down, you have climbed the length of this wall, and almost by surprise, you hit the bottom. You hit like the floor, and it's shocking. You were also concerned with focusing on climbing as efficiently as possible. You forgot that there's a possibility that there's a floor beneath you at some point, and you make it there. Everyone is in one piece. Nigel is without shoes once again, but just another 30 feet up the cliff here, and you can get
But
back.
also, no, he's not Nigel. I do have an extra pair of shoes they're not the finest. I mean, they're not Hallelujah Jackson quality shoes, but they are a very nice, excellent workers' leather pair of shoes, if you would like them so you don't have to go barefooted.
You know, some people collect the T-shirts of their past lovers, but you seem to have an endless supply of shoes, and I sometimes wonder where they all come from, Mendax.
I mean, you've been there for most of them.
I think you know exactly where they've come from, honestly. Have you not been paying attention at all, Nigel?
It seems like an endless supply at times. I guess I've lost count. Thank you, nonetheless.
You know you've found a good friend, when even in the deep and dark depths of a spider-infested fungal cave, there's a spare pair of shoes waiting for you in Mendax's backpack.
Always. I will always have shoes for my friends.
That's beautiful. Thank you, Mendax.
You're so welcome. Here's another pair of shoes for you. The second pair of shoes that I've given to you, Nigel.
And what color are these? Are these, what material are they made out of?
These are leather, and they are a very nice, I would say a chestnutty brown.
Oh, I thank you.
That bandit had good style, I guess.
I'm going to lace them up extra tight in case I have to climb back up.
A good call. A good call. You do notice when you sort of set foot on the ground, though, that it is soft, which is strange. The rest of the cave has been sort of a mixture of rock or sort of just packed together dirt, sand, other grit. But this is remarkably, soft is almost the best word for it. And you look down, and it is a carpet of moss. There is no floor that you can see that is not overgrown with some fungus or mushroom or moss or just some amount of foliage, I guess, for lack of a better word, that is just now covering all of the ground.
Can I take my rapier out and just stab the ground?
Yeah, you can do that.
I'd like to take my rapier out and stab the ground.
Yeah, you skewer a couple of mushrooms and stab the ground. I mean, are you going for like Excalibur level? Or are you going like poke?
Are you more like probing to see like how deep the softness
Yes,
is?
I'd like to see how like exactly how. I'm not going full, reverse pulling the sword from the stone, but I'm gonna give it a good few inches of drive.
Yeah, it's probably about 4 inches, just like thick of material. We'll say.
A nice thick 4 inches.
Mm-hmm. For moss, that's pretty good.
Why did you stab the ground?
It was very soft and disgusting. I wanted to make sure that it would hold our weights and things as we kept walking.
Are you satisfied?
Could be more satisfied, but you know what? It'll hold our weight. Nothing screamed. Nothing came oozing out. So, yes, let us continue.
One thing that does kind of concern you, Ash, or Mendax rather, is when you kind of stab the ground with your rapier, as he so aptly did, you expected to eventually hit like stone, rock, sand, dirt, something. Instead, it kind of just goes into free air.
Oh, there's nothing underneath this ground. Gentlemen, I don't mean to alarm you, but my rapier's hitting nothing.
I'd like to inspect the room's lighting again and look around and see if I can sense any magic here.
I think that is probably a fantastic time for our mid-session break that we normally like to do, right before I give the description of what's left in the room. Can we get one of those rolling?
Oh, yes.
Excellent.
Good people. Wayfarers return. After this brief toilet break, get a beverage, get a snack, and we will be right back.
Yeah.
Wayfarers, episode...
Okay, why not?
I would like to pick another good one and give it to Mendax.
I would like to take that good one and ingest it.
Oh wait, are you for real?
So it was a kind of a joke because I had a snack as I was AFK and he was joking about me chewing.
People say they want to eat the mushroom off the ground. I do whatever you want to do, my friend.
We're going to step in and restrain Mendax's urges to eat random spider cave mushrooms.
I didn't start it. I was just, joining the party train.
I think the party train is something me and you can enjoy when we get into this bag of spices that I've got here in my robe when we get back to town. Not in the spider cave, though. Appropriate adventures at appropriate times.
You know what? Excellent point. Okay, I will refrain from eating the cave shrooms.
Exciting and colorful as they might be.
They are quite pretty.
Okay, so the room, as it would be before you, the hole in the ground that you guys have been climbing down for the past, we'll say, 30 minutes to 45 minutes or so, opens up on what would have been the opposite side of the room from when you guys entered. There is almost, it looks as if it's like a doorway, but no door there. It's just an opening. But it's kind of like that same almost perfect shape. It throws you off a little bit. You can see that the ground is similar and basically the same as you go out into that more open room. Are you guys wanting to advance out there or anything else you want to try to do? Here.
I would, so as I was going down, I sensed a sort of pervading darkness. We've also just had Mendax announce that she stabbed through the ground and it's kind of hollow on the other side of the ground. And my conceptions of where exactly we are and what exactly rules are applying, what sort of strange natural formation or unnatural formation this is that we're in, are being questioned. So I'd like to kind of tap into my abilities to see if I can sense magical auras or different existence-altering phenomena that perhaps I may be able to detect.
Sure. Let's see here. Okay, so you're basically just going for like an arcana, something
just
like
an
that.
arcana, kind of sensing magic or being, some sign of something going on here.
Sure. So arcana is more of a knowledge base as opposed to a sensory type of skill. There's actual spells that are used to. There is detect magic.
There is a detect magic, isn't there? Okay, you can't really detect it otherwise. Okay.
Not necessarily. Sometimes, if magic is strong enough, you almost feel it like electricity that's in the air or something like that. But it's not necessarily something you can go, all right, I'm gonna wave my hands around and see, unless you have that spell. There is nothing that is like. You don't feel anything passively. Let's put it that way.
Okay. I am gonna pull my special mirror from my elf babe out of my pocket and look at it. And then I'm gonna...
Okay. As you do that, you don't see your reflection just like before.
Just like before, nothing's changed.
Nigel, is that the mirror from the Hot Elf Ghost, babe?
Yes. I was just checking to see if perhaps I could see my reflection in it now, but I still can't. No change.
Can I see mine?
Sure.
I would like to check and see if I can see Carl.
No.
I'd like to hand it to Mendax.
And I'll take it. And I have to look at myself in the mirror.
Yes, you do.
I mean, could be worse for having climbed down so much sticky shit.
We still don't know why you show up and then we don't.
I mean, it probably has something to do with my demon blood, perhaps. I think it's the only thing. One of the most obvious differences between myself and the two of you. Can I like hold the mirror over my shoulder and try to see what's behind me in the mirror while I'm also in it?
Wait, sorry. What do you want to do? You want to like you're in half of the mirror and you see something like
yes. I just want to see if the mirror shows me anything, other than what I can see with my own naked eyes.
No, it just
Nothing?
shows yourself. When you sort of, I guess, pan over, I guess would be the best word, to where Nigel is standing. He's not there. You can see what's behind him.
No, still nothing. I mean, something. It's me, but nothing for the two of you.
It was a long shot anyway. I'll try and investigate it further later. It
I'll
doesn't really
hand
have
it
anything
back
to
to-
do with it.
Hand it back to Nigel.
Okay.
All right, let us continue through this place. Let's continue to the next room.
Alrighty. Marching order the same. I will always check because you never know when it might matter.
Yes, we'll keep our salami the same.
Okay, sounds good.
Our Nigel salami.
Love it. As you guys advance, you notice that the ground feels stable, but you notice there is a springiness to it. You're essentially walking on like a net comprised of mushrooms and moss and all sorts of other sort of like fungus as you advance forward, and it's compressed enough and thick enough that you don't fall through the other side. But you do kind of, after hearing what Mendak says, you do definitely try to, this is not the time to be practicing your jumping jacks, let's say. Regardless, so as you walk forward, it does sort of kind of bounce a little bit up and down. It's not like a trampoline by any means, but there is a certain spring in your step as you continue. Yes, and you notice it's like, all right, great. First we were stuck to the wall. Now we can't really stick to the floor. And you move forward. Call, you are the first one to enter the room. The room is much warmer, almost instantly. Where it was very, very, very cold from where you guys were, you now enter this room, and it is a lot. It's not hot necessarily, but it's definitely warmer. You can't tell if it's just, you can't tell if it's still cold in this room, but it's warmer than you were, but you're warmer. Let's just put it down. And as you take your first step onto the floor in this room, you notice a reaction bioluminescence at your foot. So wherever you step on the floor in this room, a bit of light sort of shines up around the outside of it as you're stepping in all sorts of different living concoction, essentially. Yeah. And you each step into the room, and you see that the walls of this room, it is now much more jagged. It is a much more open area. It is essentially a giant room at this point. You can't see the end to the right, you can't see the end to the left, and you cannot see the end the other side. The only thing that you can see, your lantern seems to work normally in this room, Pig, and you can shine it. The light is very stable up to about, I'd say, 40 to 50 feet in front of you. It's a pretty strong, you have one of like the bullseye lanterns, where you can direct the light. As you do that, and you sort of adjust the front of it so you can see, you sort of pan around the room. You can't make out too much. You do notice that periodically, fairly frequently, about 10 feet into this room, there are it almost looks like rib cages sticking up out of the ground. You can't see for sure. It's not like that's bone, that's rib cages, but you see something to that effect. These spikes sort of sticking up out of the ground. periodically, you probably count within the first 30 seconds at least like 15 of these things. This room is, again, very large. It's at least, I'd say, 100 feet across from what you can tell as you shine your light, and you're about smack dab in the middle of it. You cannot see the other side of the room, though.
I'd like to inspect one of the rib cages. Approach and inspect.
Okay, how about Call? How about Mendax? What are we doing?
I'm going to back him up.
All right. And
Can I move a bit further forward and see if I can see the end of the room?
yeah, your dark vision works up to about 60 feet, if I'm not mistaken. So you would have to go pretty far into the room. Do you want to keep going until you see the end, or how far in do you want to go? Let's put it that way.
I would like to go far enough that the team is still within view, and then see if I can see the end.
Okay, so let's say you walk about 15 to 20 feet forward, and while Nigel and Mendax, the first, let's say, rib cage structure, if you will, is about 15 feet forward. So Call, let's just say you go about 10 feet further than they do. At this point, no, you're not able to see the very end of the room, but you see just at the very edge of your vision, and you're straining because, like I said, dark vision is not perfect. You're not able to see, explicit detail, but you can make things out. You see that there is essentially what you can see is like basically a hill. A hill that goes up about 15 feet or so, and it's fairly round. And yeah, it looks like, well, you can't really tell, but that's just like a shape that you see in the distance.
I see a shape in the distance. Looks like a hill that's a bit round.
Perfect description. Couldn't have done it better myself.
It does look like a rather large mound.
Nigel, Mendax, you guys get to the first quote-unquote what we'll call the rib cage for now, and you quickly see and find out what it is. It is an inverted dead spider. And the rib cage structures are its 8 legs that are sort of almost forming a cage. And in the center of it, it is like split in half, almost as if it's been cracked open. And there's all sorts, again, mushroom and foliage that's just like layering over this this corpse of the spider, essentially. And you figure that that's what all of the other sort of cage-like rib structures are that are in this room that you've seen so far.
Something is killing these spiders in their own lair. I don't like this.
Let's say, let me look real quick. Give me let's just say investigation. Both of you guys, Mendax and Nigel, give me an investigation roll here.
24.
15. No, wait, that's 14. That's 19.
And what did you get, Nigel?
19 plus 5, 24.
24. Okay. Both of you come to the realization, as you're sort of, again, looking at this and inspecting these corpses, essentially, that these are the mushroom spiders that were in the other area. You kind of piece it together as you see the mushrooms that are growing around it. You recognize some of them, and you put 2 and 2 together. You say, okay, I think these are those same spiders from that other room. Maybe not the exact ones that you saw, but that's...
Yeah. Okay, so it's not like they've magically just been slain and had mushrooms grow all over them. Wow, that's incredibly creepy, though. I mean, this could be some sort of symbiotic relationship between the mushrooms and the spiders. Perhaps they feed on the mushrooms, and then also, in turn, when it's their time to die, they also act as fertilizer for the mushrooms to grow from. I have also heard tales of incredibly rare fungus evolved with neurological toxins and spores that can infect the brain of host creatures and drive them to proliferate their species. But something on this scale here is something I've never even read about. And I can only suggest we press forward. But It seems incredibly creepy.
Does it look like the spider split open? Or
Mm-hmm.
does it look like something exploded from within the spiders and split them open? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So is this something that they get cracked from externally, or did they get chest pressure?
Yes, exactly. Does it look like they just happened to crack, or did something burst and split?
Sure. You can see from the way that the we'll say the carapace of the spider is formed that it is pushed up and outwards. So it was something from within that went out and exploded.
Oh, this is some shit. I don't like this at all. There's some kind of mushroom spider babies running around here.
Did you just say mushroom spider babies?
I did say mushroom spider babies.
Oh no.
Holy shit. I suggest we chop them, we burn them, and we kill this broodmother and get the hell out of here. I'm getting more and more unsettled the longer we lurk.
I fully concur with that assessment. Chop, burn, get out.
Do you want to go investigate the large mound? I think I see one over there.
I would love nothing more than to investigate this large mound.
Okay. Are we off to see the mound?
Yes.
The magical mound, indeed.
Okay. We'll say that, Call's taken the lead as normal, maybe standing about 5-10 feet in front. As you guys progress over, again, you pass now several of these. I guess I'll call them ribcage spiders. Is probably the best the best way to go about it. But you guys advance forward and you move. It takes you probably, I don't know. You like I said, you're advancing carefully. So you're not going at like a full sprint. It takes you probably of careful walking about 3-4 minutes to make it all the way to the other side of this room. But you make it to the other side and you see what basically is essentially just a giant mountain of mushrooms and fungus and different types of shrub, essentially. It almost looks like this whole thing is just covered in a thick layer, almost like what the ground is like. And you do see, who advanced first? Call. As you're sort of examining this, now you're much closer. To the left side, there is something that stands out to you a bit more, and it is like a very, very large colony of these mushrooms, these blue, sort of electric blue mushrooms that are growing at one to the left end of this pile.
Can I get a bit closer and see what's up with these blue mushrooms in a pile?
Sure, yeah. They you move over to the side. It's about maybe it's only about 8 feet, we'll say, from the middle. Well, actually a bit longer than that. About 15 feet from the middle. Yeah, roughly. And you get to this again. It's like a colony of mushrooms, right? They're not like they're not like the Mario mushrooms. They're like the flute ones that grow off the sides of trees normally. But these have sort of latched on to the ground, what looks like to just be a big rock. And these things are, they're like electric blue. And you can see at the bottom where they connect to this big rock, there are almost these blue veins that are like spreading over the tops of this rock. And as you watch it for a moment, you almost see like flashes traveling down these veins and traveling up the veins, like little lights almost.
This is spooky. It seems that mushrooms are part of the problem, or at least a part of this cave with the broodmother, which is a problem. I don't know why, but I have a feeling that maybe if I cut at the veins of this mushroom colony that something may change, or we may stop some growth or something.
Okay, it's pretty wide. I would say the whole colony is maybe like 4 feet in diameter.
Well,
It's a huge, like I said, huge colony of mushrooms.
Very wide and mean.
And you could take some chops at it, and it'll probably eventually get through.
okay, well,
If you'd like to, I could give you your halberd back. Absolutely.
I could try if you think that would be a thing we could try. We could set fire to it, but we don't know what else might catch fire.
Yeah. Nigel, Mendax, are there anything you guys are doing during all of this, or are you just back in call up?
I'm back in color, but you know what? I don't think we've actually taken Goop off of his back. So while he's standing there investigating, I would like to untie Goop and then hand the halberd back to Carl.
Sure, can do. Yeah, so you untie Goop, you put him down onto the floor, or the net, I guess, is
I'd
more
like to pat his head affectionately.
Yep, he doesn't do anything.
That's right.
And you hand Carl back his halberd.
So I was thinking I would just do a kind of a cut like this.
Okay.
Maybe like
Yeah.
take it around so we can.
Yeah. What do you want to do? How do you want to cut him? You want to
let's just
timber or?
no, not a
tip off
heavy,
that lady
not a
bastard.
chop, but more of like a cut around.
Okay, so okay, sure, absolutely.
It's all like a colony, right? So I want to disrupt it in some way.
Okay, sure. You kind of begin to hack into it a little bit as you get your halberd's blade edge pushed, and start slicing into to this mushroom colony. And as you do that, the whole mountain shudders and starts to sort of almost in waves. You see the whole moss, mushroom, foliage features all starting now to what's the best word for it? I guess shuddering and shivering is the best way. The whole thing is moving now, and you very quickly move back, Call and Nigel and Mendax, as the ground beneath this, whatever it is, begins to sort of detach from this, what you originally thought was an inanimate object, as these 8 legs sort of unfold from the mountain, covered in mushroom and again this fungus and moss. This whole thing is just blanketed in it, and it climbs up and raises itself up off of the ground, and it stands probably a solid at the peak, essentially like a solid, I'd say 12 to 15 feet into the air. The last part that pulls free from the net is that blue mushroom colony. And Pig, you're absolutely correct as you see the spider's head start to kind of come back up from this net, and you see this mushroom has essentially pervaded through the back of this spider's skull, and it's implanted into the brain of this giant spider. I mean, now we're talking giant spider. This thing is massive.
It's 12 to 15 feet tall, and about the same across.
Yep.
Whew.
And that's not, spiders, they kind of, their legs go up, down. You can't even imagine if this thing were to try to extend fully up all the way. But it lets out this shrieking wail, essentially. Give me a Constitution save on each of you guys, as the piercing kind of screech almost mirrors the griffin in how sharp it is to your ears.
I have a 15.
3 plus 6 is 9.
5 plus 2 is 7.
Okay. Pig and Call, you guys kind of fall to the ground as you're covering your head as this is the seriously ear-piercing almost head exploding type of screech is just you feel as if your brain is on fire for a second. Mendax, you're able to resist, but it's still very painful, very uncomfortable, and you drop whatever you're holding, and you have to hold your ears in order to not just get kind of wrecked, I guess, by this screech. Let's go ahead and roll for initiative.
Seven.
Okay.
14.
13.
All right, 14, 13, and let's see what we have here. Alrighty. That would be it. All right. Knocked, sort of, not unconscious by any means, but dazed, definitely, by this piercing cry. Call, Nigel, you guys are it's all you can do to just fall to the ground. The spider kind of shakes its body essentially as this dust spore begins to kind of fall. You can tell this creature hasn't moved in a very long time. And it turns its head to face Call, who is the closest. And you can now see there's almost these flashes of these waves of that same electric blue that are pervading through its 8 eyes that are on its head. Call, the spider comes over to you and tries to bite you. As it moves, this whole the whole net essentially shakes with each step that it takes. It's remarkably light, as you could imagine. Something this big would instantly plummet through this net. It's remarkably light, but it's still heavy enough to like kind of rattle this whole net. What is your defense, my friend? Call.
Is in my armor class?
Yeah, your armor class. Yes, please.
17.
17. All right.
Call.
Thick ass bird. Thick ass bird.
Thick-ass
Think
bird.
thick thoughts.
Oh.
Think thick thoughts.
Thick ass bird. No! I don't like that sound. Thick ass bird.
It is your remarkably resilient hide that does save you in this situation, as you make no move to avoid or dodge this attack. But the pincers that are now trying to grab hold of your arm that is, or it's almost basically your whole body, can't find really any purchase, as it's essentially just like trying to gnash you between its pincers. You're not crushed, and you don't take any damage from this one, but you can very quickly feel that you need to move out of this situation. You snap to your senses instantly, rolling away before this spider can figure out how to sink its fangs into you.
What's the matter? First time biting a kenku?
I'm sure it won't be the last time. Next up, we have Mendax.
Okay, how far away from the spider am I?
You moved back. Let's say you're about 10 feet or so.
I mean, I have fairly good acrobatics. Could I make a leap and stab it in one of its eyes to distract it from attacking my friend Carl?
Do you want to aim for the eyes specifically, or do you just want to try to stab it? Aiming will give you it's harder to specifically pinpoint hit a specific area, but you can do something like that.
You know what? I feel like that's what I would do at this moment. I would stab for an eye, specifically.
Okay, we're gonna give you a -5 to it, but you can give it a shot.
Okay. 14. Well, I had a 19, but -5, 14.
Yeah, that is unfortunately not going to be able to hit, as you're trying to too precisely stab this creature, and as it moves off to one side, your sword basically just kind of skitters off the edge of it, as you're not able to make good contact with it. You do have your second swing. It is without any bonuses, but you can try to do the same thing again, or you wanted to just bring this one down?
No, let's do the same thing. If I get a second swing, I want to take a second swing.
Okay.
So same thing, but -5?
But you don't want to...
No, my second swing, I don't give a shit where it hits, as long as it hits.
Then you just don't get any bonuses from dexterity. So normally, right, how it works is you can attack with your rapier, you get +5 to hit. This one, you just get a straight 20. You don't get any bonuses from it.
Okay, straight D20 on this one. 11. Shit.
11. That is also not going to be enough. As you hit it, you are able to make contact with it, but the hide, mixed with the layer of mushroom and fungus, you're not able to pierce through.
God damn it.
God damn it, indeed.
I'd like to curse at it in every language I know.
Okay, you curse at it in the one that you know. I'm just kidding. You know more than that. You know.
I know.
Yes, you do. You fire off curses in common, infernal, and thieves' cant. I guess if there are curses.
Thank you. Yes.
As you're not able to do any damage to this.
But emotionally, I've wounded it.
You did. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. This thing is unhappy. And Call, your go.
Well, big-ass spider who seems to struggle piercing Carl. I would like to introduce you to my halberd, but first, I've got a special reason to rage today. There was a nice dwarf in that cave who we shared some words with, and you turned him into a fungal mess. And it's time for us, now, to bring a little bit of thunder into your territory.
Kawakenku would like to go into a rage.
All right, Call is in the Berserker's Rage. I like it. What do you do, my friend? Fueled by anger of your new dwarf friend being so mistreated.
You want to know something, ugly spider? This halberd was sharpened by a dwarf, much like the dwarf you killed. Well, I killed, but mercifully because you infested him. And I would like to attack with my halberd now.
All right. Give me some rolls, my friend.
All right, first we're rolling to hit.
Yes, yes.
And it's, bring all the rules.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 14. Do I have any bonuses for being in a rage? No.
Your rage bonuses, let's take a look here real quick. You get advantage to strength checks and saving throws, +2 to melee damage with strength weapons, resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing.
All right, I got a 14. Is that enough to hit?
14 total?
14 total. I added everything up, yes.
Okay, you, again, you make contact just the same that Mendax did, but you are not able to cleave into the hide of this creature. You don't feel that you've connected with anything that's actually going to damage it. As you know, layers of moss and fungus are sort of peeling off from where you guys are trying to, stab and smash into this giant hulking spider. No.
It's definitely a real spider, everyone.
Thank goodness, I was a little bit worried about that.
Yes. It's not an illusion.
Undiscovered, Carl.
Nigel, you're up, my friend.
Well, it's time to stop hacking at its legs and use my magic. My wand, 9 inches of oak, hasn't been of much use so far here in this lair. But now it's time to finally make up for it. I will remove the heaviest stone from my pocket. I have a collection of stones I carry around with me.
All right.
Mostly for catapulting at things, and that is precisely what we're going to do. Is there a... so if I want to... the blue mushrooms are on its head, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I aim for those, what sort of disadvantage are we looking at?
Let's take a look here.
So normally it would be a dex save of 13, I believe.
We'll say that because you're aiming at it's compared to the rest of the spider, it is fairly narrow, but you are essentially attacking what would be the same, I guess, like diameter of like a regular creature that like a human being. I'll say you'll get like a minus. We'll get like a +1 to the dexterity save. It'll be a little bit easier to dodge. But I just have to do a dex save. Is that right?
I believe so. It just says attack/save dex 13. Does that mean I need to roll the dex to hit as well?
Nope. That means that you just do the spell, and then I'll roll the dex save for the creature, and we'll just see what happens here. All so
right. I hold my stone, and shoot it right into the middle of those the blue electric mushrooms.
I like it. I like it. So let's go ahead, give this a roll. Oh, a masterful dodge as this thing, almost as soon as the stone leaves your hand. You can't tell exactly where the spider is looking, right? The eyes of this thing are just pure black unless there's these waves of electric blue going through it. And before it almost even leaves your hand, the spider's head just kind of flips out of the way seamlessly, as if it was always going to do that.
Mother trucker is what do we say to that? I will put a bit of distance between me and the spider, as is my go-to in situations such as this. I'll try and add another 10 yards or so.
I must commend the two of you for missing as well, as to not make anyone look bad.
You know what? We'd like to keep this all as even as possible.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and go back up to the spiders. So...
No, fuck that spider.
Come on now. We need a little bit of damage here. Let's see. God, that was a fucking high-pitched screech. Let's see.
They say the death knell of the banshee. It arrives and precedes sure death. Something is sure prophesies to die here tonight.
Oh, jeez. Mendax, you tried to stab out one of its eyes before. It's going to, I guess, it's going to basically bash into you with the side of its head as it sweeps around.
Fuck itself.
And Call, you're getting kind of close to the legs, and as you do to go and attack, one of them is going to sort of come up into the air and try to stab into you. So let me see here. What are the AC bonuses for you guys?
17 for Carl.
Okay. Mendax.
Okay, wait. Do I have any bonuses to this?
It's just your armor class. It says.
Just the armor. Okay, then my armor is 15.
15. Okay, both of these attacks connect.
No, that's bullshit.
You are going to be taking a solid.
No.
5 points of bludgeoning damage as this kind of smashes into you. You're pushed back a solid 10 feet, we'll say, if you're sort of propelled into the air slightly. Your landing is cushioned, and you look to the side of you as you see you narrowly avoided hitting and coming skewered on one of those rib cages that are sort of, coming up through the ground. Call, you have resistance to piercing damage. Yes, you do. Okay, while you're in a rage, the leg is kind of sharp enough that it can sort of stab in almost like a lance, as it would be. And it is going to do... Sorry, wrong one. 6 damage after your resistance.
Oh.
As this basically lance of a spider leg is able to connect with like your thigh, almost pinning you to the ground for a moment. Before it gets up again. You don't know if this was even intentional, that the spider meant to hit you, or if it just meant to take a step.
In either case, ouch. It hurts.
It does indeed. Mendax, you are sort of knocked down, prone. You have to sacrifice your movement action to get up. Is there anything you would like to do? You're about, like I said, 10 feet away from the spider.
I'm 10 feet away. Can I draw my bow?
I believe you have to sacrifice your movement for action for that as well. I don't know if you can shoot a bow while you're prone.
I feel like I mean, I'm laying down, but like I feel like I can still shoot a bow, right? He's engaged with the enemy within 5 feet, and I'm not.
I'll say I don't know the exact I don't know the exact ruling for it. I'll say you can sacrifice your movement to either take the bow out and try to shoot it, or to get up.
I'm going to take the bow out and try to shoot it.
Okay, you can. Give me a roll.
Okay. We're at 18.
18. Yes, you are able to sink an arrow, almost like where this thing's head sort of meets the rest of its like armored body, and it pierces in through the fungus, through the moss, and into the actual hide of the creature as it lets out another sort of shrieking kind of wail. Give me some damage. You do get sneak attack from this, as there is an enemy within 5 feet.
So it's D6 plus 3, so that's a 6. But I get an extra. Is it an extra D4 or an extra D6?
For your sneak attack, let me take.
It's an extra D6.
Extra D6. Go ahead then.
Okay, so I had a 6 at first, and then the extra D6 is it's a 1, so a 7.
Okay, 7. Never be upset about extra free damage.
I mean, I'll take it. Would have liked more. But
okay. So you're gonna stay down, kind of on the ground there.
Yes.
Okay, sounds good.
Below.
You are indeed. Call your move, my friend.
So I have that fire-breathing potion on me still?
Yes, you do.
Do you have the stats on hand for that, perchance?
I should. Let me take a look here. Yeah. It's like a... Yeah, you exhale... I'll read the whole thing for you here, because I have it on a nice card, because I'm a nerd and I have the cards.
Ooh, very nice.
Delicious cards.
Cards.
After drinking this potion, you can use a bonus action, so it doesn't even have to be your action, to exhale fire at a target within 30 feet of you. The target must make a DC 13 dexterity saving throw, taking 4d6 damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one.
Ooh.
The effect ends after you exhale the fire 3 times or 1 hour passes.
Oh, he can fucking breathe on this bitch for 1 hour.
I know exactly what I want to do.
Okay.
I would like to go into my nice backpack, where I keep the fiery potion. I would like to imbibe this potion and have a full, nice drink.
Okay, you do so. We'll say you take your movement action to do so, unless you would like to sacrifice your attack action to do that.
No. I would like to attack with my attack action.
I just have to check.
With my large and sharpened halberd, I would like to take a big swing at this spider.
All right, so you have imbibed the potion. It is now empty. The orange, almost living liquid that's inside. It's almost an unbearable amount of heat as you're drinking it, but it's just enough for you to hang on.
Oh, this is spicy.
To say the least, yes. And you feel, you know how you get kind of warm when you drink alcohol? It's kind of like that, but amped up to about 15 times. You feel as if you're almost radiating heat like the sun.
Whoa! I said, whoa! Okay, I would like to swing at the guy.
Give me a swing.
That'll be 19.
Yeah, you are able to cleave into one of the legs. Give me a damage roll. And don't forget your +2 from rage as well.
So that's 6 plus 2 from rage is 8 plus 1 for sharpening is 9.
So
9 damage.
what? Okay, so is that also including your strength modifier of 3?
Yes.
Okay, just checking. All right, so you said 9 damage.
9 damage.
9 damage. Yes, you're able to sort of almost shave off a portion of this spider's leg. You're not able to cut through it like you did with the other spiders. You attack into it, and it almost follows the bend to one of the joints, and you take a solid chunk out of this thing, as if you're skewering off some. I've lost it. I don't know what that meat is called. Shit. I had a really good one. But yeah, you shave off like a slice, my friend.
And this one is for the town that you've caused so much terror. And as a bonus action, I would like to breathe fire on this beast.
Okay. Go ahead and give me 4d6 of damage, and I will tell you if it's full damage or if it is. Ooh. Partial damage, let's see. What do you got, my friend?
5 plus 5 is 10. Plus 2 is 12.
That's good.
Plus 4 is 16.
16. All right. So, yeah, you with a bonus action open wide your beak, and a glowing light sort of. I couldn't have said it better myself. As a stream of fire kind of just flays out of this bird's mouth. It's very impressive, very kind of scary to see. And as the fire connects to the side of this moss-covered spider, you can see a ton of the mushrooms and the moss sort of fading away from the side of the spider. And you put it kind of 2 and 2 together. If you're able to attack now this side where the moss is not there anymore, you will probably have a bit of an easier time hitting the spider. Yeah, you do that much damage and a little bit more.
Whew.
Very nice call. A solid fire breath.
Glad
the
we brought a
dwarves.
warrior in.
Pig. What's the plan?
All right. Can I mean, if I shoot things at it from behind, it's not like I get any sort of bonus or anything like that. If I can work my way around behind said spider to launch things at it from a more surprising angle.
No, not really. Not really. It's pretty much the same. Well, like I said, you now think that if you hit the hide of the spider that has less moss on it from this fire breath, you can probably do. It's probably a little bit easier, but dexterity-based, unless they're completely unaware that you're there, dexterity-based saves and things like that don't get any harder for them to make necessarily.
Indeed. Well, oof. You know what? Go hard or go home.
Okay.
I am once again going to try and shoot another stone at its goddamn mushroom head, because
Okay.
I want to hit it in its stupid glowing brain. So
Like
once
it.
again, I'm just gonna line up another shot, and I'm gonna try and shoot a stone right at its mushroom brain.
All right, hit the mushroom brain, my friend. Give me. No, you don't have to roll anything. I have to roll. That's right. So we'll say again, I get that +1 because of it's a little bit easier to dodge. Roll me some damage, pig.
Oh, it actually hit?
Yes.
Nice roll, the wizard getting it together, getting in the zone, lining up the shot. Ouch!
Getting it in there. Oh, such fierce shots.
I hit my beak
So-
really hard.
I believe that.
Careful, dude. That thing's on fire.
He kenku'd too hard.
All right, so 3d8s and.
Whew.
So there we go. Oh my, that's a 6, an 8, and a 7, 21.
21. We are also giving you a bonus of half that damage more for hitting it in such a weak spot. So we'll just round that up to a nice 30 there. Very nicely
30
done.
damage in one shot.
With
that
one
is a
shot.
very
Oh,
nice-
Nigel,
Yeah,
that
God,
9
man.
inches right there, just doing work.
Making up for all the disappointing fizzles earlier on.
We call that
Finally.
practice, my friend. That's practice.
Right, that's just foreplay. And this is when it really counts.
The main event.
Absolutely.
Do we get a satisfying squish? A bunch of blue mushrooms,
Yes,
maybe
we-
falling off
Yes,
its
of
head?
course, of course.
Give us a sound.
I gotta give you a good. I don't know if I can do a good sound. It's probably not
Yeah.
better than.
We
what
believe in
just
you,
done there.
DM.
I'll take that. I'm just gonna take that. Yeah, you hurdle. This is a rock you've had with you, Nigel. You picked it up day one, ever since you learned the spell. You know,
First day.
preparing, ready. You've just had this on you just in case. Now you feel the moment arise as you reach into your pocket and you see that this is the stone that you've pulled out. And you aim up your shot and strike true as this rock just pierces through, again, this blue, electric blue colony of mushrooms. And those lights I was talking about that are kind of pulsating through the whole thing in waves start freaking out and sort of spasmodically going almost like in a strobe light effect. As this you can tell you've disrupted something. You don't know exactly what, but you've done some serious damage to this thing. It does not fall though. It is still up. It is still kicking. And speaking of kicks,
No!
give me a dexterity save. As the flailing legs of this spider, now almost having lost control briefly from a moment of Nigel's accurate hit, are flailing out in a strange way, and they come dangerously close to hitting you, Call. So let's see what that dex save is.
Oh no.
He's so angry he doesn't even try to dodge.
A 5.
5. That is definitely going to be a hit there, my friend. Oh, for a solid 8 points of damage coming at you. As you as well are pushed back let's say, somewhere between 10 and 15 feet or so. And are you as lucky as Mendax? I'm afraid not, as you land sort of on one of these spider rib cages. Not impaled, mind you, but as you sort of smash down into it, the legs sort of curl around you and pin you to the bottom of the spider, as you're now solidly kind of encased in this this rib-like cage, we'll say.
No!
Moving to the spider, still freaking out. The spider scurries very far away, almost noiselessly, which is a bit disturbing for how large this creature is. But again, the net that you guys are on, it sort of waves and moves up and down, and you have to balance with it. Call, you're just encased in this trap, essentially. And the spider, you see, sort of starts to pull at the side of what you think this net is, and it dips down underneath and out of view. Yes. As it does so, let's see what has happened. So Vindex still on the ground. Nigel, you're still standing, and you watch this giant kind of hulking spider now out of view underneath what would essentially be the net. And you see the other rib cages, they're starting to move a little bit, all of them in unison, not necessarily in a pattern, but the legs are starting to twitch, all except the ones that is holding Neuro down. Mendax, you're muted, just FYI.
Oh, I know. I'm yelling a
okay,
lot.
good. Oh, I see. Nigel, or Mendax, it is actually your turn. What would you like to do? You're still on the ground. You do notice that the we'll call it the cage structure, kind of rib thing, it starts to move. The legs are twitching.
Okay.
Remember I said you kind of missed one and you landed next to it.
Right, I'm not in one. This shit is a puppeteer. I would like to jump up and go to help my friend Carl.
Okay, so it's going to take your movement action to get up. You can sacrifice like your attack action to move over to him, to take another move action. But as far as like trying to pry him out or anything, that would have to wait until next turn.
Ooh. But I can't actually see the Spider Queen anymore, correct? Because she's gone out of view, so I can't attack anyway.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. You can't attack her anyways.
Okay, then I would like to jump up and move towards Carl, so that I could potentially help rescue him from the puppeteered spider legs on my next turn.
Sounds good. Actually, one thing you can do, now that I'm thinking about it, you do have a bonus action dash that you can do on your turn. So you can actually just take that now and save your action. So you can use that whenever you want. It does take your bonus action to do so, but you can dash over to him and still have your action available. Now that I'm
okay, I would like to dash over to him, and then can my action be to use my rapier to slice those spider legs?
Yeah, absolutely. You can definitely try to do that. You're gonna want to be careful.
I would like to do that. I would like to dash over to him. I don't want to be in the spider legs. I would like to be outside the spider legs, but use my rapier to slash said spider legs to make sure that they cannot grab or harm my friend Carl.
Okay. Sounds good. Give me a damage roll. You don't necessarily need to attack, but give me a damage roll. No sneak attack or anything like that.
Got it for my rapier. 1 d8. Yeah. D8 plus 3. So 6.
Okay, 6. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, this thing, though you have done a solid slice into this, you can see that it is made of sterner stuff than the other spiders you were attacking previously. You have cut in. You can see that you've made some progress, but it's not enough for Call to break free yet. You do have your second attack. Just going to remind you of.
Oh, then I would like to take my second attack on those things.
Yep, you don't get your plus. You don't get your any bonuses to damage, but you get the straight roll.
That's right. So is it still the same damage as a rapier, or is it like my second attack with a dagger?
Yeah, so if you look at your actions, you have a rapier, and what is your other weapon?
I have a short bow, rapier, and a dagger.
Yeah, so it would be your dagger. It would be dagger.
Okay,
damage.
so D4. Okay. D4 plus 3.
Yep.
Yes! It's a full plus 3, so it's 7.
Oh, no plus 3 because it's an offhand attack. You don't get any bonus.
Gotcha.
But you get
then it's just a plus 4.
That's totally fine.
Just a 4. A solid 4.
A solid 4.
A stout
Maximum
4.
damage. It's the most damage you could have done on that attack, so you feel very successful.
I feel very vindicated.
You are not quite through the almost. It's like have you ever seen like those cattails and like it's a type of
yes.
Yeah, you know that plant basically, right? And they explode
yes,
almost like this crazy stuff. That's kind of what's happening as you slice into these legs. You see that it's not flesh, it's not blood, it's just fungus and moss that is like kind of now starting to bloom up out of these things, as if it's almost been compressed inside, and now it's starting to like kind of sprout, if you will.
Oh my god!
But you are chunking through it.
I'm hacking and slashing. Carl, I'm coming for you!
And with that, Carl, it is your turn. Go ahead and give me a strength check to try to break free of this cage, we'll say.
To be clear, that's a strength check with advantage because I am in a rage.
You are indeed.
First one is an 11. Next one is a 19.
Okay, yeah, the 19, with the damage that Mendax already kind of inflicted, weakening the structure of this this cage, if you will, you're able to burst through this and yep, waiting for that, and pop all of these legs out of their sockets and push this thing off of you.
Get off me, you heckin' thing.
Yes, as you kind of roll off or get yourself up and off of this, you see that in the sort of, you know, if because the spiders were upside down essentially, you see something beginning to move beneath the surface of this creature rather. You don't see exactly what it is, but you do see movement beneath it. So you're quite happy that you got out of there today, right now, anyways.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
If I were to use a health potion after I've imbibed the fire-breathing potion, will I still have the ability to breathe fire 2 additional times?
Let me take a look.
I did
While
read
you're
on the
looking that
description
up-
it said no swimming for at least an hour.
I do want to say that Nigel seeing you pop out of that ribcage-looking spider corpse, it's more exciting than seeing an attractive young lass in a bikini pop out of a birthday cake. I'm very excited, Carl.
Oh my god. Yes. You are able to pop a potion and still retain the effects of your fire breathing. You're confident that you can do both.
Okay, then I would like to, as a bonus action, have a nice potion. I have 2 remaining, so that would drop me down to 1.
Yes, you are down to 1 now. Go ahead and give me 4d4 plus 4.
One, up to 5, up to 6, up to 8. Plus 4 is 12.
Okay, you healed 12.
Excellent. This was a tasty potion. I'm glad I had it.
This is a tasty burger. Absolutely. That is probably, let's see, you were able to bust out of the thing, you did a movement to get up, and then bonus action pop the potion. Yeah, that's going to be it for your turn there. Nigel, anything you would like to do?
I would like to go over to one of these other spider ribcage upside down statues that is now moving incredibly creepily, and I'm going to try and make it stay dead by firebolting it.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, just go ahead and give me the damage roll. You don't really have to roll to hit, as these are, again, more structures than creatures. But you do, again, inside, similarly to how I explained to Neuro, there is something moving beneath the surface of all of this moss and dew and mildew and fungus.
Well, 1!
Ah! Very nice.
A bit overeager, maybe. It was a bit tired. The catapult took a lot of energy. Sorry.
Yes. To one of the ribcage traps, we'll say, you are able to catch it on fire, though. Even with that one, Firebolt does catch fire to anything that is flammable. So yeah, the inside of it is now burning and sort of crisping. And again, the legs now sort of start spasming and freaking out. You can't tell if there's like a nervous system, if it's actually reacting to being damaged, or if it's just some mechanical kind of reaction. But regardless, the legs kind of start to curl inwards and sort of compress back inside.
Should we set fire to the rest of these then?
There are quite a lot, but you could try.
Are we talking about like 5 or 50?
Well, just from when you entered the room and Pig scanned the lantern around, you saw at least 15 You have definitely passed more than that on your way here.
Oh dear.
So there's a good amount in this big old room. But Nigel, that's your turn. Unless you want to say something or speak, that's about the only action you can do that's left.
They seem to burn okay. If you've got enough torches, we can maybe throw them, but otherwise find the hell out. If we can find a path to the Broodmother, that's what we need to do. We've got to get the hell to the actual target. There's probably an unlimited supply of these spiders in this cave.
It is a spider cave, after all. Yeah, you are able to. Yeah, you say that, no problem. Back up to the spider's turn. The net begins to move again, but as you scan the area that the spider left, you don't see it. What you do see are 8 almost pillars pincing up through the net from the underside, as it's now crawling underneath the net and towards where you guys are located. Let's say Mendax, give me a dexterity save to roll out of the way of these legs piercing through the net.
Bitch, shit. Oh, 18 plus 3. Okay, so 21.
Yeah, you again, you feel the waving of the net, and you look over and you see just, and you are able to roll out of the way very quickly and get to your.
Eat my ass, spider.
Well, be careful.
Not literally.
As you avoid one of the legs that was spiking up through the ground. Well done, Mendax. It is your turn.
Okay, is the leg still sticking up?
Yeah, there's 8 of them, and they're moving.
Okay. I would like to attack the leg closest to me.
Absolutely. Go ahead and give me give me some rolls. You can do both of your attacks at the same time. You just need to keep in mind which one gets your +5 to hit and which one does not.
Gotcha. Okay, so I would like to attack with my rapier first and then my dagger.
Okay.
And so hopefully with my +5 on my rapier.
Okay.
Do I need to roll first and then roll for damage, or is it basically a structure at this point?
So yeah, what you can do, no, you do need to roll for damage. It is essentially what you're doing at this point is you can roll 2d20, and you just say, like, the green d20 is my rapier, and I get +5, and the blue one is just my dagger, and I don't get any plus to that. If you have more than one, you can kind of combine them like that, since they're the same. You're doing the same thing.
Gotcha. Okay, so first d20 is a 5, and the second d20 is a 15. So I like my 15 to have the +5.
You don't get to pick. You have to know before you roll, like, which is which. So if you didn't do that, roll them again and decide which one is which first before you get the
okay, so my first roll, then I will do it again, and it'll be my rapier.
Okay.
God damn it. Which is a +5, so I have a 6.
Okay. Oh, wait,
I rolled a 1.
Ah.
Yes. And my second is a 7. So a 6 and a 7.
All right, so with your 6, which keep in mind, you try to avoid saying that is a critical fail. What is the minimum amount of damage that your rapier can do?
I mean, it's
pluses here.
1d8 plus 3, so 4.
Okay, so you are able to stab into the leg and deal 4 damage to this thing. Before you're able to pull the rapier out, though, the spider retracts its leg underneath the net again, and you are disarmed from your rapier. Your attack with your dagger, obviously, is going to miss because there's nothing there.
So I have no rapier?
Not right now.
Fuck this spider. It's so lucky it does not have any shoes right now. What? No! Fine, that's fine. I've got a bow, I've got a dagger, it's fine. Oh, yes. God damn this fucking spider queen. Give me my rapier back!
Maybe you'll get it back. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I'll get my fucking rapier back. I will get this rapier back.
Critical fails are fun, man.
I have a crowbar if you need a weapon.
You what?
I have a crowbar. No, this is not a Kenku joke. It's a crowbar.
Oh my god. A crowbar. Oh, fucking...
It's okay. I do still have my bow and my dagger, so I do still have 2 weapons. I'm just more, on principle offended at having lost my rapier than anything.
I would be offended too.
You do have 2 daggers, keep in mind, so you can actually just...
Oh, I'm going to stab the shit out of this bitch for daring to take my rapier.
Alright, next turn it is. Call, your turn in the meantime. You have escaped from this. You see that there are, again, inside of this spider husk, I guess is the best word for it, something is moving beneath the surface. And in the meanwhile, the spider, you have assumed, has started moving underneath the net, kind of pincering up through it and moving towards you guys. It's about 10 feet away from you.
Is it exposed, like within 10 feet where I could swing at it?
You have a 10-foot reach with your halberd, so yes, you could attack it.
Then I would like to, as they say, fucking attack it.
I like it. Are you like attacking? Now I will ask: are you attacking the legs that are poking up through the net, or are you attacking like down through the net? What do you want to do?
I don't know how dense this net is, so I will go for the legs.
Okay.
It's gonna be 19. 14 plus
Yeah.
5.
That will connect, my friend. Give me some damage.
Okay.
That's gonna be 9 damage from Carl.
9 damage, solid. Yeah, you are able to, luckily actually, attack the same leg that you hit the first time, and now with its weakened structure, you're actually able to slice through all the way through this leg. So it kind of clearing cut through it. The keen edge of your halberd just kind of slicing through like butter as you find either it's a weak point, you're not quite entirely sure, but the top part of the leg that you've sliced off now falls to the ground and sort of sticks in the other side, as now the top of this thing is kind of just like oozing this black ichor.
Wow! Just when I thought this spider couldn't get any more gross.
That's fine. Yeah, you can still move if you'd like to.
Could I do like a like that move?
Yeah, man. Of course you can.
I have no reason to move somewhere else that I know of, so
Yeah, that's fair.
I will just revel in my successful attack for a moment.
I like it. Nigel.
So you mentioned there was so we've seen some movement underneath these upside down spider rib cages, as we've been referring to them, and that's even the spiders. So obviously we can see where the brood mama is because her legs are all sticking through the floor basically, 'cause she's kind of upside down underneath it.
Correct. Yes.
Even the spiders that aren't near her, can I see kind of a little bit of movement at the base of them as well? Like the one that I set on fire. I'm not sure if she was underneath or not. I think she wasn't underneath that.
You can't tell if like inside the cavity if there's movement on the ones that are in the distance, but you see the same leg kind of twitching in kind of sporadic movement, as you saw in the one that was near you and the one, well, not the one that grabbed Call, but that you can put 2 and 2 together and make that assumption. However, you have not seen it with your own eyes.
So I can make the assumption that all of them are doing the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really coming up with any creative ways of getting at the brood mama, so I think I'm just gonna firebolt one of the legs that are exposed.
Yeah, absolutely. Firebolt. That's an attack roll, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So with plus intelligence, right? I believe.
Yep. So you get plus intelligence and then plus your proficiency bonus. So that's a +5 total.
+5, yeah. So we've got 9 plus 5, 14.
14. Yeah, your firebolt looks as if it is on target, but at the sort of last second, one of the legs, just by chance, goes underneath the net as it's still moving forward, and it dodges out of the way of that firebolt, my friend.
Oh well. Yeah, not much else I can do really then. I don't see anything else around, right? There's nothing other than these spiders twitching and the brood mama moving.
Correct. I mean, there's you guys are, within like 20 feet of the wall, essentially. That is, covered in that same sort of super sticky silk that you guys were able to descend down here. Keep in mind, for you, it is still extremely dark in this room. The floor, once again, it is providing a source of light, so it's almost interesting where the brood mother is piercing up through the net. It's almost like this kind of shower of little bioluminescence that comes down. If it wasn't so horrifying, it would almost be kind of pretty.
Well, I'll stay where I am and finish my turn then. As long as I'm still trying to keep a bit of distance between me and the brood mama, at least 10 feet, probably 15, 20.
Yeah, you're 20 feet away, so it's like 20 feet, calls 10 feet, and then another 10 for the brood mother there. Absolutely. On the now brood mother's turn, it is going to continue moving forward and stops at you, Call, as it essentially puts you smack dab in the middle, the 4 legs on each side of you. And it is going to try and kind of crush you in. Can you give me a dexterity save before you are pincered in once again?
Question, shouldn't that be 7 legs?
7 legs. We'll say 7.5.
Just trying to keep track of the work that's been done,
No, I agree. It's important to know.
Dexterity saves, 12.
Ooh, 12 is not going to be enough to cut this one. As as you try to roll essentially out, you're caught at the last moment, and your legs are kind of crunched and crushed underneath the weight of this spider. It is going to deal 6 damage. To you, my friend. Low roll, of course, on the cool move. God damn it. But yeah, 6 damage, and you are now sort of kind of pinched underneath this thing. You look kind of over your shoulder, and you see it's almost, well, no, you don't see anything actually. The moss and net is too thick to see through. So I take that back. You don't see anything. What you do see, though, for those of you that are now standing, is the spider carcasses all begin. The legs are still twitching, but you notice now that they are actually moving, almost as if being kind of like, they didn't get up, and they're not walking around. They're just kind of getting almost shoved or pulled in towards you guys. Mendax, the one that was near you, is now maybe only 5 feet out of reach of you. It starts to close that distance fairly quickly, even, but it doesn't quite get up to you yet. But you now can see that these carcasses are all kind of coming closer. Mendax, your turn.
Okay, then I'd like to dash towards the one that is closest to me, the carcass that is closest to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to attack it with my dagger.
Okay, absolutely. You can do your 2 attacks. So again, one gets +5, and the other one gets no plus.
Okay, so d20, but +5.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one gets no plus, so I have a 15 and a 14.
Yeah, both of those are going to be enough to hit these sort of carcasses here. Give me some damage rolls. So the first one, again, is going to be the D4 plus 3. Yeah. The other one's just going to be a straight roll.
Okay, so the first one is 7.
Nice.
And the second one is 4. So
wow.
11.
maximum damage. Very nice. Yeah, you sort of stab one after the other into this carcass, and you like twist the blade, trying to just inflict maximum carnage. Again, this black ichor starts to kind of well up, and the legs like freak out and start twitching, and again start to close in very slowly, as you can see that this, whatever it is, has expired. You pull.
Right, I bathe in your fucking ichor.
Oh wait, what do you do?
Ah! Give me my rapier back!
I think she's more insulting it than actually taking a bath.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, I'm not actually bathing in the... Very, very well put, Carl. It's not actually bathing in the ichor.
I would like to bathe.
I'd like to test out the
I would like to roll a
moisturizing
bathing save for the ichor, please.
Yeah. You are able to stop the one that was closest to you. The next one that is the next nearest one is probably at least 10 feet away, but again, it's closing in. We'll go ahead and move to call, unless you do have your bonus action, Mendax. Do you want to do anything with that? Another dash.
I would like to dash back to put a little bit of space in between myself and the nearest of the spider corpses.
Okay, how far? You can't go too far, but
say 10 feet? Can I go 10 feet? 5 feet?
Going 10 feet that way would just put you within the same distance to another one. You could go 5 and you'd kind of be...
Okay, let's go 5. We'll put myself equidistant.
Sure, absolutely. So 15 feet each. Call. You are underneath these giant crushing spider legs. You see from the luminescence again that is now kind of wildly going out of control and lighting up the area, a glint of steel that is close to you as a rapier pierced through one of the legs is kind of hanging close to you. What would you like to do?
Is it within reach?
You know what? Let's leave it up to fate. Is it within reach or not? It is. Could go for it or reach for it.
So
And the legs are still wrapped around Carl, right?
Yeah, they're kind of holding and pinning your legs to the ground.
So I'm kind of grappled?
You're like half grappled.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just
You can try to like push your way out of it. You can try to just smash it with your halberd. You can try to grab the rapier. You can do your fire breath. You can do many number of things.
Could I grab the rapier and then breathe fire on a motherfucker?
Because it is your bonus action, yes, you could.
Then I would like to
Take the nice spider who has captured me and repay him something a little bit spicy this time. And grab Mendax's nice sword.
I like it. We'll say, yeah, no dex save for this, as it is basically at this point a stationary target. So there's no dodging this really.
I breathe the fire.
Give me the fire damage.
4d6, right?
Mm-hmm.
4.
Burn, baby, burn.
7. 9. 15. And that's plus 4?
No plus to
4?
the fire damage.
Okay. 15.
Yeah. 15. Okay. Yes.
Bam.
You do. Did you grab the rapier first, or are you doing it after?
I grabbed the rapier first.
Okay. Yeah, as you breathe essentially fiery wrath down onto these spider legs, you're able to light up almost every single one of them, once again burning all of the moss fungus off, and connecting with like the actual skin of this creature, singeing off all of the like spider hairs that they have right to stick onto the web. Yeah, you do a serious amount of damage to this thing, and you feel, or rather see, the legs are almost like bubbling with like how you're crisping almost its flesh, and it instantly lets go of you, and it sinks its legs down, and begins to scurry away from you immediately.
Who wants a spider kebab? spider kebabs. Get your spider kebabs. So since I used a bonus action, I probably can't throw the sword to Mendax. Movement action.
What did you do? Bonus action, and yeah, okay. You could throw it for your movement action. I'll say sure. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes!
Okay, Mendax, make a dexterity save.
Oh, god damn it. Okay.
Kinda
Another
okay.
dick.
And the rapier bonks her squarely in the head, and she falls over.
Come on, she'll get a perfect catch. She
It's
just
a
might catch it
15.
by the
It's a
blade.
15.
Yeah, you solidly catch it. I mean, he just threw a sword at you, but yeah. It's not like with, crazy finesse. You don't do any spins afterwards, but you got it.
But I caught it. I told you I'd get it back. Carl, you're a god amongst Kenku.
Thank you.
Nigel. What are we doing, Nigel?
So it started running away. Can I still see its legs sticking through the floor?
Yeah, you can. It's moving towards you.
Okay. I'm gonna run around and try to get away from where it's going and also closer to my friends / put them between me and it. And I'm gonna try and firebolt one of its legs again. See if we can continue to keep the kebab going. We don't want to let the temperature get too low.
Okay.
Alright. What are we gonna roll? Natural 20, so 25.
Oh, yes.
25.
Nigel.
My God. All right.
With
so
a zip zap.
that is in 5e rules. That is maximum damage plus another roll. So give me that. So
Another damage roll?
That's what crits do, man. Criticals are fucking good.
Alright, so that's, a D10 maximum is 10, and we just rolled a 3, so 13.
13. Yeah. So 13 points of damage to that mother trucker.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah, you singe through. Let me see here.
He's got his groove back.
Let me do some math real
Ready to
quick.
rest.
Let me see something real quick.
And
And this is fire damage too, right?
luckily I brought my flask of Mountain Dew, so I refueled after the catapult and the firebolt after that. Feeling good. Ready. Some Gatorade. Powerade.
For the listeners and viewers, that is actually dew of a mountain. It is not soda.
Of course, some druids gave it to me. It's
Yes.
got magical healing properties.
Mountain dew.
Nigel, you do something special. Through some of the holes that are in the net, essentially, you see for a moment the as you're casting the firebolt, you see that blue sort of flash for a second as you see that mushroom colony pass by, and in almost like a reflex, you aim that shot downwards. Instead of at the legs, you aim it down and cut through with that firebolt, which you release with maximum ferocity, we'll say. This is a firebolt of firebolts, my friend. It just pierces through this net, revealing most of the spider's head, and again that mushroom colony that's just growing out of the back. And you connect solidly with that colony of blue mushrooms, and it goes up in flame, doing enough damage, my friend, killing the brood mother.
Oh, yes!
Yes! Yes!
Fire!
Nigel! You're a fucking beast!
Nigel with that big firebolt. Fire!
Who the fuck is that thick-ass wizard? Nigel was that thick-ass wizard.
Fire!
Goop, get over here. Give me 5. I'm gonna on his forehead.
All right, yeah, totally. You just clunk, and it kind of stabilizes. Yeah. So the spider now sort of spasms. Its head freaking out, shrieking, filling the rest of this cave, as it sort of begins to wail until it essentially almost not disintegrates, but it almost feels like you can feel the life essence of this spider just dissipating. And its head just totally inflamed by that firebolt as it wildly burns, crisping the rest of this creature. Its legs rather curl up, and again, similarly to how the carcasses you guys have killed once again curl up, anchoring it to the net. And you notice that every spider carcass that's in the room does the same, as it sort of again begins to almost spasm for a moment before crumbling in on itself. So well done.
Mendax!
Good job.
Nigel! We've done it! There were points where I thought we were going to certainly die. But I didn't say anything because that would tank our morale. But we've done it.
Excellent choice. Excellent choice there.
Oh, yes. So, do we have to get some venom sacks, some trophy or something of this?
Yeah. There's definitely some sacks to empty.
Yeah, so you guys essentially said that if you were going to kill the spider, remember you didn't quite tell them exactly which ones you were going to go for, that you would bring back the venom gland for the druid, and the druid would fashion that into some useful sort of tonic or poison for you guys. So if you would like to do that, you will have to extract those venom glands from the spider, which is hanging upside down above the black abyss. Your call. But
I'd say we extract.
before you get a moment to think about that, each of you simultaneously feels a pang of pain from your finger. Each of you from the finger that your ring is on, as this sort of begins to tighten and almost sear for a moment. You feel an intense burning heat for a moment, and you look down and see a bit of glowing. And on one of the sides, so if you remember, there was kind of almost like an octopus kind of squid head that was the emblem of this ring. To the right side of it, you see now etched, almost as if like blackened, almost what looks like to be a symbol of a spider.
What? No! I just got used to the fucking octopus. Why is it everything with 8 legs has to be on this fucking ring?
It's the rule of 8, dude. As quickly as the pain rises up, it dissipates. You don't take any damage necessarily. You don't even feel any pain in your finger. You don't know if that was all in your head or if it was actually physical.
Did your finger just suddenly hurt a lot and then stop?
I mean, honestly, yes, it did. I thought it might have just been in my head, but yes, my finger did hurt. My ring finger with the purple ring did just hurt very much and then stop.
Well, we were initially moving out to go to Tol Caraban to see about getting these rings off, but we were roped into an extremely dangerous quest deep into a spider fungal cave.
That's true. We might as well make it worth our while and still try to extract these glands so we could take it to the hot druid.
Indeed. You seem like you have a lot of experience in the circus. Surely you learned some acrobatics there and wouldn't mind being the one after we cut a hole through this net, climbing upside down, and risking your life dangling for an extra reward.
I do have some rope, so we can use rope.
You know what? I've dangled for less. So, absolutely, let's do this.
I would like to tie a rope around Mendax's waist.
Okay, so is essentially you guys are like lowering Mendax in, or Mendax, are you like climbing on the spider and the rope is for safety?
I'm going to climb on the spider with the rope for safety.
Okay, sounds good.
So do we need to like, can we cut a hole kind of through the floor to like just get it wide enough? Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, it's not like paper, right? It does take like, you know, you really have to stab at this. It's a thick carpet of fungusy mushroom. And Mendax and Neuro, you or rather Call, you're both able to cut a big enough circle to see sort of the remainder of the head of this thing. And Mendex, you feel like you can just try to get down there and cut it open with your dagger.
I've got this shit. Okay, then I would like to do so. I'd like to jump onto that spider and stab those glands with my dagger to gently extract them.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an acrobatics. Give me 2 acrobatics.
2 acrobatics. Okay, the first is 16 plus 7, so 23. And then 2 plus 7 is a 9, so 23 and a 9.
9. Yeah, we'll say the first roll, right? You're able to kind of start getting not onto the spider and then kind of working your way down. The char that is from this, the damage that pig has inflicted on this is almost deceptive, where some solid footings are actually a bit more loose. And you stumble for a moment as you're making your way down. Not enough to fall, but give me one more dexterity save.
Okay, dexterity. Oh, 18 plus 3, so 21.
Yeah, as the dagger was kind of sliding out of your hand to catch your footing once again, you're able to reach back out and catch it before it falls into the darkness. Give me one more acrobatics just to make sure that there are no other mishaps as you're getting the venom gland here. What are you going to carry it in, by the way?
It's 18 plus 7, so it's a lot.
Okay, yep.
25.
Yes.
And I would like to... I have a satchel, right? I have a backpack.
Yeah, you have like a messenger bag or like a backpack.
Yes, I'd like to... Can I shove... Will the gland fit in my messenger bag?
I mean, you can kind of like coil it up. It is like an organ, essentially. It's like muscly tissue. Yeah, you could like wrap it up. It's pretty large. I'd say weighs about 5 pounds by itself. It's not like it might taint the other things that are in your bag, but if that's okay, then that's fine.
What about letting Goop carry it? Can he carry stuff? Could you ask him, Nigel?
Goop, open.
It stares at you.
I think you just have to like think it very hard.
Okay.
What do you?
I have a lot of practice with that,
Well, maybe
so I'm going
I
to.
don't think I can take it yet though because I'm still on the spider, so I'd have to like I'll put it in my messenger bag for a moment, and then jump back over near Goop.
Sure, sounds good. Yeah, so that last acrobatics will take care of that for you.
Yeah.
You're able to
And then I'll just tie it to Goop, really. I don't even think Goop needs to do anything. I just tie it to Goop and he'll follow us, right?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay, then.
However you want to get this thing.
Perfect.
I would like to tie these glands to my good boy Goop.
Yeah. Yep. It has a backpack made of venom glands now. Very well
Goop
done.
is so stylish. Honestly, nobody even has an inkling of a backpack made of venom glands yet, but they all will, and Goop will have started it.
All right. Well, with the broodmother dead, the venom glands extracted, and now a new mysterious rune carved into your rings, I think we will go ahead and call this session there. And I think that is quite enough to propel you guys to level 3. I think you've done enough work. Level 3 for the party. You should, by definitely next session. The third level, that's a big important one. So definitely read into it, guys. You want to make sure you pick your. This is where you're going to get to pick a class specialization almost. So definitely take a look at that. Level 3 for everyone. Broodmother dead. Well done, everyone. I am proud of you and how you handled it.
Oh, yes.
Whoa.
And I got my rapier back. I told you I would. I mean, I didn't get it back myself, but I still got it back, though.
It has been returned to your inventory by some form of magic or bird.
That's right. Some form of thick-ass bird.
So to double check and to reiterate, we will do our own personal research over the next 2 weeks, and then for the next session at the beginning, we will review our choices, but we had already chosen them leading up to it.
Yes, that is exactly what we'll go ahead and do. Well said. Well put. 2 weeks, guys. I hope you enjoyed this session today. The conclusion of the Spider Cave. Quite fun. Quite fun.
So much fun.
Episode 7 every other Thursday, 9 p.m. Pacific time. Thank you so much for joining us. Stay hydrated and fresh, and watch out for giant fungal spiders. We'll see you next time.
Absolutely.